So last time, I'll just do a little brief catch up. For those of you just tuning in, on our first episode, this gang had themselves a big old coming out party. They are, as I mentioned, growers and pushers of psychedelic mushrooms, but they were pretty low key. They were small time, so far down they ain't even on the map, you might say. And they decided to make a splash to be known, which they did successfully. They went to Charter Hall University in the center of the city, which was having a big fancy gala, and they crashed it and smashed it and thrashed it and got everybody high as fuck, and that doesn't rhyme with any of those words. But they snuck a bunch of their psychedelic mushrooms into the beef Wellington that was the meal that night, got everybody at the gala high as balls, and then smashed up a whole bunch of urns that were up for auction, most of which actually contained ghosts, causing a sort of fireworks display of ghosts to shoot out all over the place, cause a whole bunch of chaos. And then they used the broken pottery to spell the Midnight Runners were here. Now, that was enough to get them noticed by the Unseen, the most powerful gang in all of Doskval. So powerful that no one even knows who they are. They're kind of just all around you. The Unseen are the very air that you breathe in Doskval. And their remarkably powerful leader, Darius, has decided to call a meeting of all the gangs in Doskval to discuss terms for a possible general truce. You initially were not invited, but after your big splash at Charter Hall University, you've secured an invite. So, knowing that the big meeting is coming up in just about 36 hours, all the members of the gang went about their own personal business. Dexy gave you all the day off to do whatever it is you want to do before the big meeting. They all went about various tasks we can highlight here. For example, Soda Pop murdered a cop, but with reason, murdered a cop in order to frame another gang for it and get heat off the Midnight Runners. Smart move. River started work on a new ritual to try to locate her friends, as she calls them, the spirits all around Doskval. In the process, also painted Cricket's toenails, and they became closer, which was sweet. Cricket healed after having sliced her foot open during her completely unsanctioned job in the Silk Shore in the beginning of episode 1, in which she cut her foot on a broken glass. And Rust blew off some steam by getting drunk, getting in a fight, and then having raucous sex with the woman that he was just in the fight with, which is his dear lady, Marlene. So, in Blades in the Dark, everybody gets 2 downtime activities that they get to do in between jobs. Russ chose, Qua Russ, chose to fuck so hard that he's used both of his downtime activities on reducing stress, by indulging his vice, which he has done. And I believe, Turk, that was very fruitful for you, because I believe you're at 0 stress now, right?
Perfectly cut my stress down. When in
That's
doubt,
right, you were so close. You heard it here first.
I love how
kids.
The stress all went away from the fucking part, not the fighting.
It was also, it was a bit of, why not a bit of both, eh?
With Marlene, there's a lot. It's a Venn diagram. There's a lot of overlap.
It's
of fighting in the
It's a circles, actually.
She definitely punches him during, without a doubt. So you have completed, Turk Qua Rust has completed all of his downtime activities and beautifully cleared his stress tracker, but everybody else has still one to do. So we're going to get those out of the way. But before we do, I want to just do one thing that I didn't get to do at the end of last episode, which is that you guys all get experience from what happened in the last episode, and now that we've recapped it, what went on. I should mention as part of the recap that we also got to see flashbacks into how everyone joined the gang during. It was sort of our little origin story episode. We got to see everyone's varying from tragic to kind of funny backstory, and how they all came to join the gang. And so, with all that in mind, let us calculate your experience before we get back into downtime activities. Now, I know this makes for riveting listening, people at home, but it is important that we get this right. I'm a little bit of a freak about this because I once did a 13-episode series of Monster of the Week and forgot to level up the crew the entire season. Because Monster of the Week does the same thing where it's end of episode experience, and I just forgot to do it. Where the hell... Now, you'd think if I was a good GM, I would mark the page where the experience thing is. Anybody have that at hand?
Oh, not the page, but it's on our sheets in Roll20.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
The things that you get for...
Mm-hmm. The mark XP
Okay.
every time you...
Yeah, so everybody marks XP every time they do certain things, and then each playbook... There's ones that apply to everyone, and then there's specific ones for each playbook that you only get XP for when you do this one specific thing. So, Rust, would you like to start, and we'll get you your XP?
Sure. Every time you roll a desperate action... I don't think I did any of those.
Did you roll a desperate? I don't think you did.
Not this last session. You address a challenge with violence or coercion?
I would say so.
Yeah.
I would say you did that several times.
You express your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background.
I mean, we literally saw your backstory.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's fair. You struggled with issues from your vice or traumas during the session the other day.
You indulged it.
I indulged
I don't
in
know if you call
vices.
that struggling.
I just don't think I really had much of an issue with it. So
I mean, how rough was the after?
Yeah, it's supposed to be if it causes you problems somehow, or
I
just enjoyed it.
Exactly. I don't think I had any troubles at all.
All right. For each one, yep. So that should be
This is 2.
just 2 for you.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Next, we're gonna go over to Lonnie. Let's get you some XP. So,
Alright.
Cricket, did I don't think you made any desperate rolls.
Last session or is this
Last session.
Last session? No.
Yeah, it's all by session. Yeah. Okay. So not that one. Your playbook specific XP trigger. What is it for you?
You addressed a challenge with stealth or evasion, which
Yes.
I guess if you count my flashback.
Which I
Of
do. Yeah.
sneaking
It's just
in,
so
okay.
yeah, you snuck into their base to steal mushrooms. So yes, definitely mark 1 for that.
You expressed your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background.
100%. Yeah.
I was gonna say, it's kind of an easy one for me. As long as I steal something, it's kind of like me going back to my roots of being in the underground. But you know.
True, but let it not be forgotten that you saw and spoke to your dead best friend as well.
Yeah,
As
that's
part of that.
right. I did. do
While
that.
you were on
Yeah.
while you were on mushrooms. The mushrooms briefly
On a
allow you to
rooftop,
see
yeah.
ghosts, and you were able to
Well,
see your friend. Maybe, who knows? You could just be tripping, but
I'd
you
like to
saw him.
believe. I'd like to believe. I saw.
Yeah.
him. And then you
Weren't
struggled
able to
with
speak to him,
issues
but-
from your vice or traumas during the session. Yeah,
I should say I should think so.
I think.
Yeah, in a big way. Yep, 100% in a very big way. You almost died. All right, so that is 3 for you then. Yeah, 3 XP for you. All right, down to Doc River. So
no desperate actions. I
desperate
don't
rolls?
believe.
No, yeah, it wasn't a real desperate session last time.
It was not very desperate. You addressed a challenge with knowledge or arcane power. I don't remember. I don't think so.
I think so. You were doing.
Which one?
You used one of your downtime to create a ritual to.
Oh, that's true. Oh, yeah, that works. Right. Sure.
Yeah, I think that definitely fits.
Yeah, she worked on her Ghost Radar ritual that she's in.
Ghost radar ritual. Yeah.
And then you expressed your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background. Always. All of us got that one, right? Because back
I think so. I mean, yeah, it's your backstory episode. Yeah, it's
flashbacks. All
basically a
up and
given.
down. And then you struggled with issues from your vice or traumas during the session. Now, she's always got issues, but like we said, the key is struggling. And I don't think she really did. She had a pretty nice time last time.
It actually was
me about-
very pleasant for her.
I
Yeah.
thought you did talk to me about like the river though. You kind of went.
She
near
did.
the river and kind of.
She talked about that's where she came
what
from.
the river is to
Yeah.
her. Yeah.
Is she afraid of the river?
I think, I mean, in typical river fashion, she both is afraid of it, and she also thinks she is the river. Like,
Oh.
you know, like she thinks that's like what made her and where she came from a little bit, and also afraid that like it killed and brought her back to life. And
But also, you can't have a river in a barn.
yeah, you can't have a river in a barn. That's silly.
That's ridiculous. I think you should mark that one. I mean, that's up to you. Player gets the final call.
I'm up to what 6, so I'm 2 away from advance.
From leveling up.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, and finally, Soda Pop.
Hey.
I don't think you
I
did. You have a desperate roll? If anyone had a desperate roll, it would be you.
No, I never had a desperate roll.
No,
well,
I was thinking that
try
fight with Rust. You never did. That's too bad. That was a great.
Oh,
fight,
I never did a desperate roll, but I biffed it horribly every
You
single
biffed
time.
it so bad. I probably should have made you
that's
roll a desperate roll in hindsight, considering how bad you were beefing it throughout
Yeah,
the thing.
well, we set it up that she's good at shooting, she's not good at scrapping. Right.
Not good at
That was the takeaway. So no, none of that. But I did address a challenge with tracking or violent.
Yeah,
That
sure
definitely
did.
happened.
Sure did.
Well, I expressed my beliefs, drives, heritage, and background. We did a flashback. And then the last one, of course, struggled with the issues of your vice or traumas during the session.
We saw one of your traumas. We saw
did.
your best friend die.
Yeah, and how she dealt with that, which was to turn it into an opportunity.
Yeah.
But it's up to you if you want to
Yeah,
get
you dealt with it in a super healthy way.
How can I monetize this?
How can I monetize my friends? Oh god, it's like very.
Oh, my friend
it's very
died, and that's
2024.
Oh, my friend died. I'm gonna have to live with that for the rest of my life. So how do I monetize this?
I know. That's like Instagram influencer brain. It's just like, how can I make this content now that my friend is dead? So yes, I think you get a solid 3 experience there. Have you leveled up yet, or are you also?
Oh no, I only had one. I only had 1 XP from the very first.
Okay.
Session, so I've had it easy.
Okay. Could someone please open up the crew sheet so we can mark crew experience? I need a volunteer.
Well, I can do it.
Turk? Okay. Crew specific XP trigger. What is it for you guys? It should say right on there.
That is acquire product supply, execute clandestine covert sales, or secure new territory.
Didn't secure new territory. Acquire product or supply. No. I don't think you really got
It's
any
tough because
of those,
there's like a flashback, you know.
Contend with challenges above your current station.
You know what? I'm going to give you that one because that definitely
invitation.
that trigger did happen in the flashback.
Okay.
I mean, you did, and I think that counts. It's just if it happened in the session, didn't have to be chronological.
Also, we're about to go in with the big fish, like
Right.
Like,
Yeah, for sure.
All of this was to get in with the big fish, which is
We got the
kind of
invitation.
over our head.
Bolster your crew's reputation or develop a new one.
Pretty much. I mean, we bolstered it by like getting invited to this party, right?
Yeah, but that happened in the first session.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
We created the gang in our flashback.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm counting flashbacks, which to be consistent, I am.
Well,
Then I
flashbacks
think-
every episode where we think about the
Every
things we did last
episode.
time, so we get points
Like,
again.
we saw all those things happen.
Let me think about the time when I was sneaking and traumatized and
and doing
being
drugs.
desperate and doing drugs. There we go.
Check.
Express the goals, drives, inner conflict, or essential nature of the crew.
I mean, yeah, that one you
Yeah.
couldn't get any more. 100%. So I think you get all those.
Mhm.
Where's that put you on the?
We are
crew?
2 away from advancement.
Oh boy, very exciting. Cool. All right, so that's crew advancement. All right, so now that the exciting mechanics are out of the way,
Oh, so exciting.
so
Cream my
exciting.
pants. Exciting.
Hey, it probably means that by the end of this session, you guys are gonna level up, which means you're gonna go into the last session with like cool new shit, which is pretty sweet. I was hoping for that. I wanted you guys to at least get 1 level up before this is over. So, let us do then our final downtime activities. When we last left off, Cricket was taking a nap, and was woken up in your bed, the only bed you've ever had. Woken up by Dexy calling from the next room, telling everyone to rise, shine, and shine your boots, wash your face, get ready. We're not rolling out right now, but it's getting close, and everybody needs to. Dexy wants everyone looking their best, ready to put their best foot forward at this meeting. So since we left with you, I think I'd like to pick up with you then, Cricket. You have, I'm going to say between now and the meeting, you have 3 hours. 4, because I'm accounting for travel time. You have to get there. So it's 4 hours to the meeting. You have that time to do whatever else you want. Dexy's gonna not want you to go too far away, but if you got something to do around the barn, you can, or in the immediate vicinity, you're welcome to. So what would you like to do for your final downtime activity? And for the record, anybody, if you want to, you can spend a coin from your stash to do an extra downtime activity if you really want.
If I'm not allowed to go too far, my downtime action was... So I realized actually that my downtime action was supposed to be going with my vice, because my vice is obligation to the party. Like kind of having feeling like I'm reinforcing the home that I've created for myself. I
remember last episode you kept asking Dexy if you could work in the meantime.
Yes, so that was actually what I was gonna do.
Okay.
So I got healed, and then my goal was I was gonna try to find some pottery that I could sneak from people. To kind of make it kind of look like shattered pieces of pottery, because that's kind of how we got our initial bump up to kind of being on the radar for people. And create a kind of design, logo for us kind of thing, that I could put on broken pieces of tile that I could include in every piece of every sale, kind of as a namesake, a certified, a certification of this is the good stuff made by the Midnight Runners. But if I can't go too far away, I guess that depends on
tell you
how
what,
close pottery would be.
Tell you what, I'll make you a deal here. I have to make it just an offer, I suppose. I mean,
Not a devil's
I made
bargain.
up. No, it's not a devil's bargain. I made up that you were in bed having a nap because it segued nicely from the flashback we were doing about your bed, right? So I did that. You didn't do that. I put that evil on you. Why don't we say that whatever you're doing happened before? We'll flashback just a couple hours. It happened before you took a nap.
Yeah, then I took a nap. Then I woke up because I was so tired from going around stealing people's pottery as if I'm Link from Legend of Zelda and just smashing it in front of people.
Ooh, rupees. So this is earlier in the day.
Okay. I think I would stay as close to the barn as possible, because I feel like Cricket doesn't have a great concept of time anyway, so I feel like she'd be afraid that she'd miss it if she goes away for too long. So she'd go, she'd try to find a few things of pottery. I think she'd probably try to break it probably near the house, but far enough away from the house that nobody can hear it, so that way she can tuck it into all the pockets of her overalls to bring back and kind of look inconspicuous.
Okay. Where are you getting this pottery from?
I'm assuming that people have, little flowers in their gardens or on their front
You're gonna go steal
porches.
people's.
I mean, what else am I gonna do?
You're a bad
No,
kid.
no,
Lowe's.
we're
I'm gonna-
criminals. This is good.
What is
We're
the Blaze in
criminals.
the Dark equivalent of Lowe's?
We're criminals.
Go buy it.
Dexy's,
Right.
Dexy's
You used to buy a
store
stack
was.
at Home Depot.
Yeah, no, we're criminals. All right, so this is going to be an acquire asset downtime activity. You are going to roll to determine how good a quality of the thing that you get is. So by default, it's roll tier. You guys are a tier 1, so you'd roll 1d6. Now, if you have someone helping you, either another crew member or a friendly contact. I think your only friendly contact is that beggar lady, who we met last episode. Then you get an extra die if you have somebody helping you out. You can also spend coin to make it better.
I will say I don't think I would bring Telda into this just because, like, she has more to lose from potentially getting in trouble than I do. So either if someone wants to help me, or I do have that one coin, and I feel like, Cricket also doesn't really have a lot of like monetary, like, I think she has the concept of like, ooh, shiny, but like actually understanding what a coin means in the real world might not be. She's not used to having money to spend, so understanding what that money is worth, market value, is not like the top thing on her brain. So I think she'd be okay with like using the coin to find some way of like, maybe there's somebody that has a whole bunch of them and go find a gardener nearby. I don't know, and like bribe them.
Okay.
That's
So, yeah,
just buying flower pots. If you're bribing gardeners.
She thinks she's being sneaky. She's paying them off to not say anything about the fact that she is whisking them away.
Yeah, I could use this money and go buy myself my own flower pot,
Also,
or I could
do
pay
they
them.
have delivery though? Because
that's
like
You want a fucking DoorDash pottery?
Yes, please.
So you would roll, and then you would spend the coin afterward to increase the result of how well you do. So that's where the coin comes in mechanically. But are you doing this on your own? You doing this on your own?
Unless someone wants to help me, but I probably would try to be like slipping out.
River follows her.
Oh.
Yeah, like I figured River would volunteer. You guys just recently bonded, and it's a very River thing to do.
Not super close, just like about half a block away, and not trying to hide very much, just walking slowly behind her. Trying to
River,
follow her.
you follow at a distance, Cricket, and
I feel like Cricket eventually would kind of like if she's not being discreet, I feel like Cricket eventually would kind of tell that she's there, kind of smirk to herself a little bit and like slow down just like slightly.
Just to let her follow.
Just
Yeah.
like not to scare her away and be like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna like acknowledge that you're there, but if you want to catch up with me.
She still keeps a
it's
distance.
your scene. Take it away. You guys narrate how you do this. I don't care. Go nuts.
River thinks she's being sneaky, and so you see her like just walking very close to the wall, like that will hide her or something.
The same wall that I'm on, so not like around another wall, but just like on the same wall. Cricket will kind of like, being a sneak herself, she'll kind of sit there and like, again, like I said, she'll kind of smirk to herself a little bit, like, I'm gonna let her think she's like accomplishing it, but like maybe I'll stop and tie my shoe, or
it's like a follow mission in Assassin's Creed. Yeah, you're like every half a block you turn and look behind you, and River tries to hide, and then once like she catches up, she'll just like sort of like try and like sneak up behind Cricket and just like get up right to her ear and just really, tonight tastes funny.
Oh, River, what are you doing here?
She slaps. Where are we going?
Well, we are going to go steal some flower pots.
Yeah.
Wanna join?
Yeah. Yeah. But no matter what anybody says, nobody lip off and nobody get lost.
Got a good eye for these things.
Yeah. Okay.
And
she just starts moving ahead, not knowing where she's going. Just starts walking.
And Cricket will kind of like smile to herself again and like kind of like do that little like skip step thing to just like catch back up with you again. Do you want to know What the flower pots are for?
Are they for flowers?
They're for a type of thing that grows out of the ground, yeah.
For blue lips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How'd you
Okay.
know?
I'm smart.
Hey, if we had a picture that was like our
Mhm.
group's picture, like
Uh-huh.
that everyone knew for like
Rust's
Midnight
penis?
Runners.
Rust's penis?
I don't think I'd be able to draw that with accuracy.
Midnight Runners. When the Midnight Runners, when it's midnight, but the hands go up. Good point up.
Oh, yeah. Are you?
There's a
gonna draw
circle. I don't know.
it? I feel like
I've never tried it.
when we get back, do you want to try to draw it?
Uh-huh.
I'd love to see your art.
Yeah. Uh-huh. I wouldn't mind laying a little something down.
Yeah, because I'm thinking, the whole thing with us getting breaking those flower pots was kind of like our claim to fame, And I think if we include like a little piece of pottery with your little drawing on it, I think that could really get attention for us, right?
Yeah. And then everybody knows not to mess with us.
Or to buy stuff from us.
And to buy stuff from us and not mess with us.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, we're unfurling like lotus flowers. Come on.
We're on the same wavelength. She kind of skips steps a little bit more.
River
Is River a skipping type? Does River skip?
No, River moves erratically, like a kid at Disney World without the leash on. So she'll just drift one way and then the other way, but she'll always
bumps into Cricket.
Yeah, she'll always gravitate back toward Cricket.
I think Cricket absolutely thinks that's a good sign of oh, she bumped into
It is.
That was perfect.
I think that's accurate. Yeah.
Cricket, roll a fortune roll. This is sort of just for fun.
Okay.
Just a good old D6.
Oh, right. It's just a D6, so I don't have to
It's just a
look for a
D6.
specific thing.
Yeah, no, it's just... Oh,
6.
Nice. Okay. All right, you're in Barrowcleft. You are in your turf, the farming part of town. Now, you guys are where your barn is on one side of the river in Barrowcleft. There's a bridge that connects Barrowcleft, and the other side of the river is the mainland, which is much more agrarian than your side. In between those two things, though, is a bridge, and not just any old bridge. The Barrowcleft Bridge is a well-known sort of landmark of Doskvol because it's a very, very wide, divided boulevard bridge, and it's a little bit different in that it's a bridge that people live on. There are houses on the Barrowcleft Bridge that line the sides of it and go down all the way to the water. And some of the houses on the lower end actually have little docks and stuff down in the water. They're these sort of cramped... there's a lot of... They're not very big homes, but there's these cramped little houses that all just kind of cling to the side of the Barrowcleft Bridge like little hornets' nests all around. And because of that particular location, where there's obviously not land to plant anything on the Barrowcleft Bridge, a lot of people have planters that all line along. They have little patios, sort of little balconies, little Juliettes, I believe is the real estate term, that have planting boxes and hanging pots and all kinds of things. The Barrowcleft Bridge is really quite beautiful in the Doskvol sort of way. It is in the gray perpetual twilight of Doskvol. The Barrowcleft Bridge is a bright spot of beautiful greens and reds and blues of flowers and hanging plants and roses and whatnot that grow out of people's planters, as well as some small vegetables and spices and herbs that people grow. So if you're looking for pottery, you know exactly the place to go. That would be the Barrowcleft Bridge. And because you rolled so well, I'm just going to kind of up that you guys get you're walking through and you get to the Bear Clef Bridge, and you can see along the side, like looking down toward the water, that there is a lot of goddamn pots out all over the place. And you see one in particular, someone who has a particularly, one of the larger patios, larger decks, that's down closer to the water, that is stocked with these big, tall plants that are growing in these big, like terracotta pots. That, no, not terracotta, more like porcelain. Like they look like really fine,
like glazed.
Yes, that's the term. Thank you. Like glazed, like porcelain. They look very high quality, and you realize, Cricket, they look very much like the urns that you smashed at Charter Hall. Very, very similar. They might even be the same thing. They are very high quality glazed porcelain, and there are these green plants growing out of them that you can't identify from here, but they're sort of tall. They're long, skinny things. It look like there's one of those like wooden dowels in the middle that they're kind of growing up, and they have big pointed leaves. But you don't see any flowers or anything like that. You just see green leaves. And there's like, I'd say at least a dozen of them on this balcony in these big ass pots.
I think River wants to look. She's specifically looking for one that's maybe glazed color blue.
Yeah. I think I'm picturing it like the that sort of like classic like Chinese porcelain that's like the blue and white thing, you know? That kind of pattern. Yeah, there's a nice blue one there.
River points it out to Cricket and says, "There's the governor."
Oh, is that one?
There.
A special
Points-
one? Yeah.
Yeah, lick your lips. It's special. I'll deliver the milk. You go and get it.
What?
I'll deliver the milk. And like, is there a way that River can like go to the front door of this place and like distract the people inside?
Yeah, sure.
River will just go around to like the front entrance, so maybe thinking Cricket can climb in. This is me translating that Cricket can climb in and get that, because she's sneakier than River is.
So when she says I'll deliver the milk, does she just walk away?
She just walks around to the front door. Yeah, absolutely.
So I think from context,
explanation.
Cricket gets what the deal is here.
I go get the governor. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
And River goes out to the front door and like knocks on the door.
I normally wouldn't ask a question this asinine, but with River it makes sense to do so. How does River knock?
Once.
And
Why? Best River answer.
that
I was
is-
expecting like a funny little like ditty.
Like
and then
that,
she's
like shaving a haircut? No.
perfect. No, that's
I don't think anyone answers, because I'm just thinking this through. If someone just knocked once on my door, I would just think it was an accident and then not answer the door.
Right. After a few seconds, River says, "Yeah, baby delivery."
Baby delivery? Okay, just making sure I heard that correctly. You said baby delivery.
Baby delivery.
Got it. You hear from the other side of the door, you hear the door lock from the other side.
Fantastic.
And there's a little hole in the door that you can actually has like a little one of those little sliding door thingies, but it's just a little circle. And you hear the little from the other side. You hear the things slide.
River's eyes right up against it.
And this person looking through just sees a giant human eye and says, "Who goes there? Who are you?"
Baby delivery. Did you order milk for your babies?
There's no babies here, miss.
I don't know. You seem like you've been stuck in a lift. Can you open the door so I can give you this baby milk that I have in my coat? She's not wearing a coat.
Are you selling something? Because I don't have any children.
What's this address?
It's 12 Barrel Cleft Bridge Way?
Ah! Sure you don't want this milk?
What kind of milk?
Cockroach milk.
Are we quite sure that's a thing? I'm uncertain, young lady.
Will you be my dad? I used to have a
Absolutely
dad.
not.
I used to have a dad who lived in a big stone house, and then I fell in the river.
Are you quite well? Are you...
I'm fine, but you wouldn't last 5 fucking minutes in a body like this with a mind like mine.
Now, that language is unnecessary.
I used to know Scovlandish, but I don't anymore.
I don't speak Scovlandish. Do you... Is there anything else you need?
Have a nice day. She turns and walks away.
And we see River turning and walking away, and we zoom in on the hole in the door, and our camera goes through the hole and then turns, and we see on the other side the puritanical man walk away from the door
You can't
and go
do this to me.
and go to sit in his armchair where there is a full bottle of whiskey opened sitting next to it. And he sits down and takes his pants off and takes a swig and says, "What a strange child. Kids these days." And we go back to the backyard.
You can't do this to me. He remembers my face and will probably sit there and say, "A child in the garden. What are they doing in the garden?"
The children, he's just so concerned about the children.
I'm trying to enrich myself with gardening and breaking shit, okay? Just leave me alone.
He's,
Um,
like, he's inside drinking, and
without his pants.
I won't
he'd have to
say
put
it,
his
but you
pants-
know what he's doing.
Oh no. I was gonna say, I have to assume that if he put his pants on, just speak through a little hole in the door, he'd have to put his pants back on to go investigate if I make a noise, but
Probably true.
Oh,
But you don't know that.
I know, and I don't want to think about what he's doing in the house while I'm sneaking around his house. But I sneak around his house anyway, because I want the governor.
He's a
And the rest
proper gentleman, and he puts his pants on to answer the door, because he has standards.
Such weird standards, but sure, standards.
So you go around the back.
I go around the back, while River is still successfully distracting him for the first few seconds. And it's, so you said it's on a balcony?
Yeah, yep. Big, wide patio that hangs off the back.
I just had a really weird notion that I might have to tell him I'm a window washer again.
This just keeps happening.
I try my best to sneak up the side to be able to. Is there anything that I can like kind of step on to be able to get up to the higher balcony?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, this won't really. This is easy for you, honestly. This is not hard. I mean, this is a balcony. There's plenty of footholds and everything. Like, this is for someone of your sneaking skill. This doesn't even require a roll. Like, this is just easy. Climbing things on the Barrow Cleft Bridge is not difficult for you at all. What we're gonna do though, like for these downtime activities and acquire assets thing, rather than go through a whole bunch of rolls and everything, we just do a roll to determine how well you do, and then we kind of narrate from there. So you have you roll your tier, which is 1, and then you got an assist from River, so you roll 2. So roll 2d6 and just see what you get.
A 3 and a 3.
Oh fuck. Okay, now you do have the option to spend a coin to raise the result level to a mixed, if you want. Or you can just eat it. You'll still get an asset out of this, it'll just be shittier.
No,
This determines
I
the
want the
tier.
governor. I want the governor. I'm gonna spend a coin to raise it to a
Okay.
4.
Raise it to a 4.
So I can hopefully at least get the governor, and then if I can do anything else, maybe not have it be completely shattered before I can bring it back. That'd be awesome. But we'll
Yeah,
see.
this is one where, like, if you had rolled like a 6, you probably would get away with multiple of these. As it is, you just roll it because you got a 4 to 5, or 4 or 5. That means you get an asset that is the level of your tier, so that's tier 1. So you're gonna get not a lot, but you'll get something. So you get down into the balcony, and you kind of, you're a little lurk, right? So you kind of like keep low, and the first thing that hits you when you hit the balcony is the smell. These plants stink.
Okay.
It's like a heavy, like, skunky kind of smell. It's some might even say it's pretty dank.
This
It's
puritanical man's getting high on his own supply.
it's growing weed. I don't know if Cricket knows what weed looks like,
But the kids
it's-
can't have it.
Cricket literally overdosed on weird mushrooms. I think she understands what weed is.
I don't know if she's ever had weed.
I hope she understands what weed is.
Well, so you realize that this is not just a pot you can get out of this, it's also pot.
2 for 1.
Oh, right. Excellent. So, okay. So, I wouldn't be able to get multiple, like, porcelain pots, but I can get pot in a pot.
You can
Maybe.
get pot in a pot. Yeah. Yeah, you
Okay.
can get away with that.
Okay.
With that result. You could probably get one. Yeah.
So the one that River specifically said is the governor and pointed at.
The governor. That nice blue glazed porcelain.
Is that within reach? Is that an easy one to grab?
Oh, yeah. And if you're asking, does it have weed in it? Yes, it definitely
Yes.
does.
Okay. I think River. Whoa, I'm Cricket. Hi. I think.
You can't be River. I'm River.
No, Doc. Wait.
You're Cricket.
I'm Cricket. No, I think at first she'll kind of like be taken back by the smell, kind of in that like whole, like, I don't know. I personally like understand the smell of weed, but don't like the smell of weed, so I feel like she'll kind of have that same reaction of just like, oh, but okay, it's fine, it's not anything bad. And then yeah, I think I'm gonna try to go for the governor.
So this big pot, it's tall. The plant is pretty tall. I think the whole production here is about as tall as Cricket is, from base of the pot to the top. So this will be hard to do, but
balcony with, yeah, okay.
yeah, it'd be tricky. Perhaps with an assist from River, you could do this. But I think what happens here is that you kind of like hoink it up onto your back. It's probably because you got to climb back up. So
Actually, how tall is the balcony away from the thing that I climbed up to get to the balcony?
so you climb down because you climb down the bridge onto the balcony.
Right, okay, so I'd have to climb. Okay, never mind.
You have to climb up now to get back onto the street level.
Okay. For some reason I was thinking balcony, so I was thinking up, so I was like gonna do the whole thing where like if there's the railings of the balcony, I was gonna try to like do the thing where you kind of like guide your hands like through the railings underneath to get it lower. But I have to
Okay.
So yeah,
I think there
I'd
is
have to do
a
some
nearby on the balcony. There is a coiled hose. that he clearly uses for watering his pot plants, that you could use to like lash it to your back or pull it up. But you've got some tools at your disposal you could use, however you like. There you go. There's like 10 feet of garden hose. Go nuts.
I imagine Cricket making like a makeshift like backpack / baby Bjorn thing to strap it to her back and like spider crawl up.
Excellent. And I think as you baby Bjorn the pot to your, do you put it on your back or on your chest? Is it a baby Bjorn? Do you put it on the front?
See, the thing is that if I'm gonna spider crawl, I want it on my back so I can, you know, have it be safe.
And I think we see, it's like slow motion. We see Cricket like handhold by handhold going up, and River waiting at the top, like eyes wide, because she sees the governor coming. And you have this garden hose that's lashing it to your back. And as you go up, like the metal end of the garden hose was just sort of like, it was knotted up, and that part was just like tucked like into the back of your pants. And as you climb up, you move and shift, and the end of the garden hose comes out of the back of your pants, and it swings down. And it swings and hits the window above the sink in this man's kitchen. And he hears it. And it's as you're just reaching the top that you see this guy come out onto the balcony and sees you getting away with his pot plants. I'll have you know that he put his pants back on.
Oh,
he did put his pants back on.
Thank goodness.
The fly is undone.
He was.
The fly is undone. He was in a rush and he forgot. And he is most ashamed for that. But he is on the balcony. You can like smell like the whiskey from here. But he looks up and says, Child, that's my marijuana plant, child!
I'm not just
That's not for young people!
It's medicinal! As I'm just running down the street.
Officers of the law, this child is stealing my marijuana plant!
Is marijuana something that is, like, okay to have in Dust?
Yeah, what are the laws in Dust Bowl regarding marijuana?
I don't think it's illegal.
But stealing it might be.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Stealing
is always illegal, whether you're stealing something totally legal or marijuana plants. So.
Cricket, we gotta cheese it. The blue coats. Run.
Also, I would just
run.
No one's coming.
No.
The people do not respond to the puritanical man's shouts for the law.
Mm-hmm. But they do run, because then we get the trope of them ducking into an alley, out of breath, and then they kiss each other.
Well, I mean, that's takes two to tango here. Cricket, what say you?
I was actually gonna say that as I'm running and we're like thinking that maybe the blue coats will be coming, I'll probably like grab River's hand, or if you know River's in the lead, I'll probably like reach ahead to like see if I can like gain some ground by like running the same speed as her. So, I mean, if we duck around a corner, we duck around a corner.
There's a corner. There's a corner. Yeah. It's none of your business.
I like this idea that you guys are running like you're being chased and like out of breath and like duck into an alley. No one's chasing you.
No.
Absolutely no one is chasing you. I think perhaps you respond to the puritanical man's shouts with the assumption that someone is chasing you, but there is absolutely nobody chasing you.
I mean, running into the puritanical man twice and knowing that he wants to get me in trouble, I think is enough for Cricket.
It's very thrilling.
He sure does want to get you in trouble, but
puritanical
he'll have to wait another day.
He doesn't know my name or anything else about me, so the day that he figures out any of that stuff is where I'll be scared.
Gonna be the big
As
bad
you
evil guy of the next campaign.
As you peek around, like out of an alleyway, you can see that the puritanical man has come out of his house, pants on, this time with a belt. He has shoes on, has put his coat on. He is just like walking around the bridge and like looking in places, but you guys are so far ahead of him that he's not going to find you. And also, you see him like kind of stumbling because he's drunk. And he doesn't look to be doing a particularly good job. He's stopping people on the street and saying, "Have you seen a child? A child with a marijuana plant?" And people can smell the whiskey on his breath and are just ignoring him completely.
I get the feeling this isn't the first time they've got a weird impression from this guy.
Not that, no, he is a known quantity on the Bearcliff Bridge. So people are just like, he's coming up to random. "Have you seen a child? A child who was doing awful things that are not befitting of children?" And people are just giving him a wide berth. And I think you guys just kind of have a good laugh about that from your alleyway hideaway.
There's a corner, there's a corner.
There's a corner. It seems like there's a corner.
So what
cool.
do you do?
I think we're in the corner and we just sort of stop and we're just like giggling a little bit. We're just like, "You got the governor."
I got the governor, and that man, I've seen him before, and he wants to get me in so much trouble, but he hasn't gotten me yet.
He doesn't even have any children.
I wonder. He probably doesn't want children because of me. He keeps seeing children in the bars and all the places he doesn't want children to be. I bet he's just like, children are trouble.
Yeah.
Children are trouble.
We gotta get back to the barn so we can draw.
Yeah.
Scamper on back to the barn. Scamper.
Mm-hmm.
And you scamper back with you come back with a pot and a garden hose.
And some good.
And
That.
when you come back, Dexy is at the she's in the green room and mirror in there, like a little wash basin. And she's just, it looked like she was just doing a little bit of light planting, something. And she's washing her hands. And as you come in, she's like kind of putting a little bit of water on her face, and she looks over. "I'm not going to ask."
I feel like Cricket, even though it is a big plant that is probably ends up being taller than her because it's probably like if it's wrapped around her back,
Premature.
it probably is starting mid back and then growing like up the top, like looks like it's growing up the top of her head. She is still actively just trying to act like there is absolutely nothing wrong, just making herself like a little like more square shouldered to pretend that there isn't anything behind her.
And River is staying very close to the wall.
Being really
Trying to
sneaky.
hide.
I know you want me to
Specialty.
respond. I know you want me to say something. I'm not going to take the bait.
Oh no, she's actually avoiding eye contact.
I can see you. You know I can see you, Cricket. I would hasten to remind you that we grow something else here, not that. But
Mom, we're not.
I have the governor on our side.
We've got the governor, and there's going to be a loud noise, so don't be scared. But don't tell Soda Pop, because if Soda Pop hears it, then she'll jump, and that might be funny.
Well, does that mean that we should tell Soda Pop so that she's prepared for the scary noise?
Some things you can't prepare for.
Right. Okay.
what are you doing? What are you doing?
Smash it.
Marketing.
Okay. All right, what's the loud noise though? Just so I'm clear on that.
She'll
Like at the party.
she'll reluctantly kind of like turn around and like show that she has a pot strapped to her back with some hose.
Oh, it's a pot and a pot.
It's the governor, and we're going to kill the governor so we can make a sign.
You're gonna
She
smash
has
the
such a way
pot.
with words.
What are you gonna do with the plant?
That was
Do you want some weed?
that was in it. That was in it.
Well, sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I will say too that I think, like, I will say that part of me was thinking like, oh, there'll be some flowers in the pot. Like, okay, whatever. Considering there's weed, I think I'll find like a perfect, like, you know, just the typical like weed, like full array and give one stem of it to River as if it's an actual flower.
River takes it and like very delicately like holds onto it and smiles just a little bit.
River, honey.
Yes.
Oh, do you plan on doing anything with that? Nope.
I tear off like a whole bunch of them and give it to Dexy, and then kind of start like walking away so we can go kill the governor.
River holds hers tighter. Mom, you can't have mine because Cricket gave it.
I don't want it. I just want to make sure you don't eat it or do anything else with it. You can keep it.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. But anything else with it is probably not a safe choice for your body.
She puts it in her hair like a flower.
That is perfectly fine.
There was a man without any children.
I'm sorry, what?
Nothing.
Okay. I will take the rest of the cuttings when you're done with it. Please don't make a mess and clean up all the shards when you're done.
Don't want another shard of glass in my foot. Got it.
Yes.
River gets to work drawing this logo with whatever is lying around. Just like, I think she would just be like a clock face, so like a circle, you know, and then the two hands pointing up.
Oh, I like that. And Dexy takes the cuttings and retires to her chambers to sample.
Mm-hmm.
A puritanical man makes some good weed, at least.
He probably grows the dankest shit you've ever had.
Classic.
The puritanical man has exceptional tastes.
Except in, you know, like
Values.
Moral values. Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna like make sure that, you know, I look around to see if anyone's unawares, and then I'm gonna smash the pot.
Okay. You smash the pot and you create, I think, you know, you got a mixed on this one. So I think you create a goodly number of fragments. They're not as nice as they could be. They're not like very even, you know, they're probably like a very big variance in size because you didn't really get it perfect, but you've now got, I'd say, out of one pot, like 20 pieces that you can put your logo on, that are of this really nice, high-quality porcelain that people are sure to link to the Midnight Runners. So this is your new asset here. We're going to call it, someone can mark this. You can mark it on your character sheet, Lonnie, this asset. We'll call it calling cards.
The governor's bones.
The governor's bones. So these are your calling cards, which you can leave places as you go to let people know you were there, which will have effects on factions, but could also be used for, like, if you want to challenge for some turf, you can drop these around and let people know the Midnight Runners are in town.
And there will be a moment too where I will kind of like look over River's shoulder to see what she's drawing, because eventually we're going to try to draw them on each piece of the pottery to kind of like claim them. And I'm just going to be like, you're a really good drawer.
Hands are pointing up.
It's a good touch. I think people will know it's us.
Mm-hmm. He just sort of like sits back and looks at the drawing and then leans against Cricket just.
And Cricket just sighs and just totally content. But again,
the end.
Very afraid to sit there, very afraid to scare River away. So it's still kind of like rigid, but just like very happy.
Mm-hmm. It's like an animal that's getting used to you.
Exactly. You don't just sit there and like think of the cat the first time you see it. You like make sure it likes you.
Gotta pretend. It's like in Baldur's Gate 3. There's that one cat in Act 3 that you have to be an asshole to if you want it to be friends with you.
Oh, I didn't know that.
There's a cat, and if you go up and be like, "Hey, my name is blah 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 blah. Do you want to be friends?" The cat's like, "No." And if you're like, "It's all right. I don't want to hang out with you anyway," the cat's like, "You passed my test."
You guys sit there, River's head on Cricket, and a few minutes later, Dexy walks in. Like, even through her red glasses, you can tell how red her eyes are. And she walks in and goes, "Aww," and then turns around and walks back out. And scene. So now we're gonna jump over to Soda Pop for your second and final downtime activity. What would you like to do?
We can just montage this one because it's a little bit simple. I just wanted to reduce our heat.
Okay. Who you
And
gonna
rather
kill
than-
this time?
No, I'm not killing anyone this time. The idea is to use my my one coin. I would like to, in Silkshore, basically bribe some blue coats to reduce our heat with them a little bit. At least the ones like in our immediate working area.
Okay.
So some
You don't
bribe.
have to use coin for that. Because
Well, I have
we
no
see-
social skills, so money talks.
Yeah, well, you could spend the coin. You could roll and fuck up, and then spend the coin after if you want to raise the effect up. But like, you don't have to spend it up front, just so you know. So you can pick. You can do this however you want. It all depends on how you're doing it, like what action we're going to use to determine what you do. So how you go about this. So you're trying to grease palms with blue coats specifically.
Yeah. The ones
Yeah,
that
so
work in
just, like-
Silkshore. So.
Yeah. Okay. So the cops of Silkshore. Okay. So yeah, just sort of like describe to me what your approach is to doing this, and we'll decide what skill makes the most sense.
Okay. Well, I think the way it would be is since Soda Pop has basically a bounty hunter background. She's used to, finding her target and studying them for a while. I think there's been a couple, like a blue coat, one of the higher ups in the area who she's been watching for a while and things like that. And enough so that she thinks she's got an idea of his illicit behaviors. So that way when she's doing this, she's like, hey, I know that you took a bribe from such and such. You did this horrible thing just last week. You also did this terrible thing. And you don't want any of this on a notepad to get out there. So why don't you take this bribe money from me and lay off us for a little bit?
So you're sort of passive aggressively threatening.
I'm originally from Minnesota. What can I say?
You're Minnesota nicing this person to death.
Mm-hmm. I'm offering you something good, but also reminding you that I could do horrible things to you if I needed to.
Okay, so that's So I'm torn on calling that either. It could be sway. Sway is sort of a catch-all, or I could call that command. You're being subtle, but also forceful at the same time. Does it make a difference to you in terms of the scores?
I mean, no, I have no, is it resolve skills? What are those? Precious.
Yeah, so it really doesn't matter.
No,
Okay,
no.
well, if it doesn't make a difference, if there's no real argument to be made either way, then I guess sway makes the most sense. You're beguiling them. So, you got 0 in that?
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna be rolling 2d6 and taking the lower one.
Okay.
You can spend stress if you want to up it.
Yeah, we'll just see how I do.
Okay. Well, that's a 2. That sure is a 2.
But I'd
so
like
that's
to
a
use
big
my
failure.
coin then, if I have to.
Okay.
Oh.
Yes, spend your coin to raise that to a mixed success, as if you had gotten a 4 out of 5. So
To be fair, considering what I'm doing, that a mixed success makes sense.
yeah, for sure. All right, so that's gonna knock 2 off your heat, off the crew heat. So if somebody wants to mark that, please.
Someone got that, or should I do it?
I'm pulling up now.
Thank you, Turk.
So how's your heat looking now with that 2 taken off?
We have 2 heat.
2 heat? Hey, that's pretty good.
Mhm.
You've done all right.
Hey, I'm the second in command. It was kind of my job to go do this.
So, this cop that you've witnessed, you kind of passively aggressively threaten him. And I think the do you want to play this out, Jana, or do you want to montage it? It's totally up to you.
I suppose we can play it out.
Okay. I think he's one of the... I don't think you know this, but he probably is one of the guys... Yeah, you don't know this, but he's probably one of the guys who, like, helped kicked in Melvir's teeth the other night. But... because he's in Silkshore, which is where Melvir was. But he's a cop. Yeah, he's like a beat cop, like that's assigned to the Silkshore beat. I think I pictured this guy as a kind of bowling ball of a guy that has like cue ball head, but then he just has like mutton chops, big old mutton chops. Kind of a short dude, squat, stocky, kind of built like a firefighter. And I think he's you know him because he's assigned to the beat that's right outside the red light brothel, which is your little piece of turf in Silkshore where you're allowed to go. So you always see this guy in the neighborhood whenever you're going to the red light. And you've seen him go in and out of the red light. You've seen him utilize the red light services. You've seen him accept bribes at the red light. You've seen him do all kinds of dirty shit. He's a dirty cop. He's an obvious dirty cop, which, you know, is expected almost in the Bluecoats, but you can't do it too openly, because then that kind of makes them look bad and lose some of their moral high ground. So, caught this guy doing shit for quite a while, and when he sees you, I think you see him just, you go to the red light, you're allowed to go there, you get like, you go into Silkshore, you get, they know who you are, so the gondoliers like escort you to the red light, and let you in. Rust's big lady is one of them. She never speaks, but she just like walks stoically beside you the entire way. Do you want to say anything to her?
Yeah, actually, being like, so what's your name, anyways? So where's that dialect from? Am I saying it right with the right cadence?
She puts one finger over her nostril and just like blows a snot rocket out.
Oh, you're so Rust type. You know Rust, the big one that I hang around with, right? Yeah, something like that. At least, no, in the pants, but you know, whatever. You know, just to let you know, he's been eyeing you, and he thinks you are a brick house of a lady. So, like, if you ever want to get going for a tumble and a tug with him, hit him up. He won't say no.
Roll another sway.
Oh, I'm so bad at this.
You're like the worst person to be doing.
Oh, I should not be wingmanning for my friend.
Were you wingmanning for me? I missed that part of this conversation.
That was as wingman as Soda can get for you.
Yeah, my friend's got a small dick, but he'd settle for you.
He's lying. He's got a fine dick. It's her.
She's seen his dick.
Yeah.
Everyone's seen Rust's dick. He's walking around outside naked at some point. I'm sure she's.
We know that this gondolier lady, has recently seen Rust's penis. For when he was naked outside the barn. That's why she was like,
That's why she was playing.
I think you're talking about Rust. I think with your failure there, she's not connecting the two. She doesn't know who you're talking about. She thinks you're talking about somebody else. She must be someone else in the gang that she's never seen. She's just not making the connection at all. And so she's just sort of in one ear, out the other, like, yeah, whatever. I don't care.
Sorry,
Go
Russ,
on.
the girl you're interested in is dumb as bricks. She's a brick house, and she's dumb as them.
Yeah.
My intellectual equal.
But she's so fine.
Mm-hmm.
So you get to the red light, and Rust's big brick house of a woman stands outside and just crosses her arms and waits for you to be done. You know from experience that she'll be out there. There's someone guarding the back door too. You're sort of locked in here while you're here. And you see this mutton chop cop, Officer Mutton Chops, at a table in the corner with, like, I think he has, like, a dude on, like, one knee, and he has this woman on another knee. And he's clearly drunk. And he's, like, playing, like, poker or something. And he's just got, you know, a selection of sex workers on his lap. And as you come in, what do you do?
I'll go over to the table and I'll be like, "Hey, sweet cheeks," addressing both sex workers. Be like, "Hey, sweet cheeks, give us the table for a minute."
They look down at the cop, and he says, "Yes, it's quite all right. Give us a moment." And they stand up, and he just, like, slaps both asses, and then they walk over to the bar. "How can I help you?"
Officer Mutton Chops, I gotta say, you got good taste.
We've discussed it's not my name, but thank you. Yes, I do.
Good enough. I mean, Soda Pop ain't my name, so what's the problem there?
Perhaps it's better if you don't know my name, so I will accept it.
I mean,
Sody
I don't...
Pop.
Yeah. Self-explanatory as I'm just drinking one.
Pop. How can I help you?
Oh, well, see. Now listen. I know you've seen me around. You've seen around some of my friends. And I know that, you know, after a stunt we pulled yesterday, we've got a little bit of... The Blue Coats have an eye on us.
Why? Can neither confirm nor deny that's the case.
Either way, I know that, you know, they're gonna put pressure on, you know, the little guys, the honest beat cops who, you know, patrol this area, such as yourself, Officer Mutton Chops. And see, I was thinking that maybe you could continue to do your job, which is to turn a blind eye to us.
Well then, what sort of protector of law and order would I be if I've simply turned a blind eye to all of your many various and sundry indiscretions?
See, I happen to be someone I believe in an eye for an eye. You know, tit for tat, that kind of thing. And she'll put out her little, out of the middle pocket, she'll bring out a little sketch, or little notepad, and start flipping through it. Just like how you, turned your eyes to that murder just last week.
He coughs up.
No.
What?
Oh, the one that happened on Sycamore and you know, and Magpie on that corner. You got
sweating,
quite a bit of coin out of that one. It was impressive.
He's obviously sweating, but I don't know what you're talking about.
Although, I have to admit, your financial choices are a little bit sketchy with the fact that you turned around and took half of that earnings and spent it on her and him over there right afterwards.
No, it was him over the...
Oh,
Silence!
I'm so sorry. I was a little off. To be fair, those two look kind of alike. I think they might be Irish twins. Wait, what's the Irish version? Scovland twins.
Yeah.
Scotland twins!
Scovland twins. Sorry, they
Excuse
might
me,
be
remember, it's
Scovland
pronounced Scotland! Yeah.
twins.
Scotland!
Alright, they might have been Scovland twins.
I have a type. What's your point?
My point is, like I said, I believe in give and take. So I'm going to give you this, and she'll produce her amount of coin, to take this and to keep doing the stellar work you've already been doing.
He puts his hand on the coin, and you can tell he's drunk, so deeper in thought than he needs to be. But he puts his hand on the coin, kind of thinks about it for a moment, burps loudly, and then just slowly slides the coin across toward himself and pockets it. Thank you for your recognition of my service, citizen. You do a great credit to you and your oath.
You do a great credit to yours, sir. Thank you, Officer Munchops. And you know what? That was just business. Here's for pleasure. And she'll slide him over C grade stock.
Oh. How did that person die?
That person died. This is C grade. I'm gonna say this person died. They fell into a hole and broke their neck.
So quick, not painful, which is always good.
Quick and not painful. Yeah, quick and not painful, but not nearly memorable enough to really to make it
no
more than
unresolved
great.
issues.
Yeah.
It was
No
just an accident.
Yeah.
I think
They were just
it's
an
someone
idiot.
who they fell down a manhole. Like there was like an open sewer grate, and they just fell down a manhole and
Terrible.
died.
And the silly thing about it is there was warning everywhere. We shouldn't have
Yeah,
stepped
they
in
were
that
not
animal.
paying attention.
They were just an idiot.
When we make the movie version, I think every time somebody hands somebody some of the blue lips, we
see
get
the
like
flashback.
a rough cut to like how the person died.
The person
zombie
died.
kill. It's a zombie kill the week kind of thing.
Yup. Oh my god. This is just the show. If you've never seen it, the show 1,000 Ways to Die, which is one of my favorite old shows. Literally had this. They did 1,000 Ways to Die, and they ranked #1. There actually was a couple that were like lifelong virgins and then got married and had sex for the first time and had simultaneous heart attacks during their first orgasm. So they're like, there's no good way to die, but if there was, this is the best way to die. They literally died mid-coitus at the height of orgasm.
They would have been both A+ stock.
That would have been like S tier stock for sure. Yeah. So Officer Mutton Chops, who maybe will get a real name someday, but no, he's Officer Mutton Chops. Officer Mutton Chops says, "Oh, thank you," and he pushes himself and, "Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a room upstairs and have a party to have." And he snaps and does one of these, and his gaggle of sex workers that he's paid for follow him upstairs. And he, like, on the way up, tries to, like, wink back at you, but, like, he kind of closes both eyes and stumbles for a bit. And then he tips his cap and carries on.
Hopefully, the mixed result is the fact that I hope he remembers most of this exchange.
The mixed result there is... I won't tell you. I wrote it down.
Okay. I'll go back outside and to my gondolier escort be like, all right, let's get going. Oh, I'm sorry, I had it wrong.
She looks ridiculous, by the way, because she's in the full outfit, so she has like a little beret on, and this little like striped shirt and like a little scarf. And it just looks completely out of place. It's like you put like a tutu on a Doberman. Like it just doesn't work.
So, like, where do I get that ascot you got going on for your guys' little outfit? Cute.
She puts a hand on your shoulder as you're like walking slightly ahead of her, and she stops you dead because she has huge hands and you are not very big. So she like puts her hand on your shoulder, and it causes you to just stop instantly, like you've been hit by an airbag. And she stops you, and then takes her scarf off and drapes it over your shoulder, and then pushes you ahead.
Oh. So you want to go fuck sometime? Like, I got time before we get back. No? Alright. She does the ascot up. She's like, thanks.
You gather she never liked wearing it anyway, so she's happy to get rid of it. And she walks you through Silkshore. And as you're walking through, you see there's an alleyway that's been cordoned off. With like crime scene tape. And there doesn't seem to be anybody there anymore. If this was like an active scene, it's not at the moment, but there's no one, there's no cops or anything standing there, but like there's still clearly evidence that there was like some kind of investigation that happened here.
Hey, what happened here? Okay. Mind if we go take a look real quick? Alright. I'm gonna go take a quick look.
Alright.
Man, Russ is gonna love her. She's a woman of few words.
You look in the alleyway, and there is like, you know, those little like tents that they put up for like marking
Yeah,
evidence.
the evidence. Evidence markers.
It's weird. The marker, like the tape says that it's the blue coats. Like so it's like the blue coats are your local city watch, you know. They're the low level cops. So it says it's a blue coat investigation. But on the ground and stuff, you see there's a little I think you notice a little button. Like a little brass button that has been marked with an evidence tent. And that button has the seal of the inspectors on it, which are the high level. They're related to, it's like the relationship between like the local cops and the FBI.
Yeah.
The inspectors are the much higher level law enforcement that's directly serve the Empire rather than the city of Duskfall. So there's a button, and then next to it, there is a tooth with a big gold filling.
Huh. I want to nick the tooth.
Okay. Roll a fortune roll.
Okay. Come on. Be nice to me. A 3. No fortune.
You don't recognize the tooth.
Oh well. I can't handle the tooth.
We're taking a break just for that. That's no, hold on.
You know you love
This,
me.
I think this tooth, you like see like a gold tooth. As soon as you pick it up, you realize that is fake gold. That is not real. It's not worth anything.
Oh, I'll put it back. It's like,
And it stirs nothing within you, so I guess you just put it back.
I'll go back over to my gondolier. Just be like, alright. Hey, by the way, just to warn you guys, like, you got inspectors in your neighborhood.
And she looks concerned by that.
Me? I didn't do anything here. My crew hasn't rolled in here in like 2 days. Alright, we'll go. But just, hey, I was doing you a professional courtesy of warning you about an inspector being in your area.
She pulls out like from her pocket, pulls out a very dainty, shockingly dainty little notebook. Like it's like it fits like in the palm of her hand. Like it's like one of the size. It's like the size of like what it looks like because she has huge hands. Is like the size of those little like half-size sticky note packs.
You mean like
Those
my
are, like,
little
sticky
one?
note yeah, like that. Tiny little. And she pulls a pencil out from behind her ear, and she writes a little note to herself, and then snaps it shut with like 2 fingers, and then puts it in her pocket. As if
Was
to
that
say,
lavender scent? Did you spray lavender on that? Because that's nice. Yeah. Alright. Hey, if you go to Selena's stationery store, by the way, she sells a wonderful rose scent.
She nods approvingly, as if to say, "Why, yes, I've been there, and it is lovely." But then remembers she doesn't like you.
I'll go back to the barn.
And she walks you to the bridge. And she stops, as she always does. Like, she always, like, stops and, like, clicks her heels as soon as she gets to the edge of the bridge. And then points ahead as if to say, "Walk on."
Toodles.
And as you walk across, she, when you, like, look back for just a moment, she's just really awkwardly, like princess waving to you.
I'll wink back at her. And keep going.
And she turns on her heel and walks back into the territory. And you go back to the barn. And Rust, when Soda Pop comes in, she carries this lavender scent with her.
Oh, yeah, I got the ascot.
Yeah, that's true. It's on the ascot. Yep. This lavender scent. And Rust, you don't know what it is. You cannot place it. But you are immediately aroused as Soda Pop comes in. You're not attracted to Soda Pop, but something feels weird. There's things happening as soon as Soda Pop walks in. And that smell just hits you hard.
Don't know if he'd vocalize anything about that. I think it might be inside thoughts.
What's up, bud?
The fuck were you going?
I just came from Silk Shore.
Give his leg a good old cross. Fuck you doing in Silk Shore?
I was doing some bribing.
Where?
Met your lady. Well, the only place we're allowed to go at.
Oh, is that why you smell like that?
Because your lady? Yeah. She gave me this.
Why? You don't look that poor.
No, I look plenty poor. To be fair.
Yeah, well, we're not exactly playing with a full bank here, so, you know.
No, I just spent all my money. I just spent all my coins, so. B&B. There we go. What you thinking about, buds?
I'm just gonna need you to take it down about 20% there.
She didn't tell me her name, by the way. I kept trying.
Oh, she don't need a name.
Well, I mean, she's perfect for you. That's for certain.
Oh, like I was messing around before. Yeah, sure. I knows it when I see.
Messing around. I was meeting with Officer Mutton Chops, which is not anyone I wanted to mess with.
You was in a whorehouse and you didn't, and you wanted to mess around, but you didn't.
I used up all my coin. Hey, somebody needs to get the blue coats off our fucking backs.
You could have put it on credit, maybe.
Who got credit? Who's gonna give me credit?
Well, I assume someone has to like you.
No, that's nice. The only one who likes me is Melvir. I haven't seen him around since the gala. Well, it's only been like a day, so.
Yes, well. You best clear off.
Fine. Don't want my company?
This conversation is quickly becoming a confrontation.
Listen,
I don't think you want
Russ,
to see the end of it.
Russ, you know I'm bad at scrapping, but I'm always willing to scrap.
Yeah, Chihuahuas fight Dobermans all the time.
You know what? Actually, wait. Instead of scrapping, why don't we do something I'm good at, where I'm the Doberman instead? How about we do like a little bit of target practice?
No.
See how good you are with a gun, and she'll whip out her pistol, like, hold it to him.
Hard, though.
At least I'm brave enough to fight you.
You just come in here smelling like that and talking like that. You grab the gun and go shoot something.
Though I should give you a warning about something with Silkshore. We're in a bit of troubles over there.
Yeah, well, congrats. You found out you live at Duskfall.
I mean Inspector Trouble.
Congrats, you figured out you live in Duskfall.
Whatever. You only have like one brain cell between those 2 ears anyways.
Oh, is you checking out
Watch
between
out
my
about...
checking out between my ears now, are you?
It's the only head worth looking at.
Well, that's not what your eyes were saying yesterday.
You know what? You know what, Russ? I'm always down to fuck as much as I am to scrap.
Yes, but we're here to shoot, aren't we?
True, I'm better at that, admittedly, than I am at the other two.
I'm just gonna give it a quick little... What was that? What is it? What is shooting?
Shooting's hunt.
Hunt?
Hunt. This dog will hunt.
This dog will hunt.
2.
Okay,
Yeah,
Rust,
no.
you're bad at gun.
Yeah.
Tell me how you fuck this up, my guy.
He's gonna
Also,
get...
like, what are you gonna set up? So you gonna shoot some bottles or something?
Yeah,
I
probably.
think we have I think on the fence there's always like some cans or bottles like set up.
He's gonna just very much palm this entire gun, basically. Like holding the whole mechanism. And when he pulls the trigger, it's not like it doesn't jump, but he almost like over anticipates it, and so he just shoots right into the ground in front of him. He just kind of like tries to force the fight against the blowback of the gun, and so it just ends up shooting the ground.
Hey, you got 3 feet closer than last time. I gotta go, gotta go vertical next time though.
Really, I thought you were such a fan of horizontal.
I mean, I can be. By the way, she laid hands on me. It's got a strong grip.
I'm going inside. I tossed down the gun.
Inside me or the barn?
Jesus Christ.
Only one of them's warm and comfortable.
I should be insulted because one of them.
The barn.
Yeah, I should be insulted seeing as one of them is full of dead bodies.
Yes, your vagina. So,
Called the graveyard, I'll have you know.
abandon all hope, ye who enter here.
I don't know, all my characters have weird sexual energy.
Chaotic.
Earlier when you were saying like, oh, a place where I can be the Doberman. And now it's like just the analogy is built. It's growing. It's great.
He's a hunter. Oh no, sorry, he's a hunter. The quote pitch perfect.
Oh god. Okay, so we
Maybe I'll share
leave
this
Rust. Rust walking back in dejected, and I think we see I think we see Soda just like turn around, just bullseye a can, like gleefully. And so that reduces your heat. All that reduced your heat. And now that leaves just one last thing to do, which is River. You have one more downtime action.
Yeah.
Oh, lordy.
What have you gotten yourself into?
I know. Why did I save you for last? What was I thinking?
I don't know either, but I want to do it quick because I want to get to the meeting.
To the
6
thing.
seasons in a movie.
6 seasons in a movie. Yeah.
You knew what you were getting
Impossible
into.
Landscape season 3 starts in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me think here because I think at one point I said reduce heat.
You can
but
do that.
I don't know. I don't think I want to anymore.
You could a quick thing you could do if you want to do something quick is train.
Yes, I think that's what. I think River. Can I train in any of the skills? Is that right?
Yep.
Okay.
Mark XP on attribute or playbook track is what it says on train. Let me. I can quickly. I have the page marked in the book, so I can check very, very fast. But
Okay.
to
I
make
think she
sure,
wants to learn how to do something new. And I think that like drawing and playing around with these things and also messing with her sort of like ghost electro loop thing and her mask and stuff. I think she might want to learn to tinker a little bit.
Okay.
Just because she's been working with her hands a lot and especially with the fish and the part that was in the fish and
What attribute is Tinker under? Is that a
insight?
insight? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So you would mark XP in that attribute track,
Okay.
so you could get some insight experience. So what you're tinkering with the fish?
I think she finds the remains of the fish.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't know what she's making. She starts a lot of projects without knowing what they're going to be before she finishes them. But she's just like taking the parts apart and she's trying to make something new out of it that might be helpful or maybe a nice present for someone or art. And so she's just like messing with gears and stuff like that and figuring out how they work.
Oh, okay. So, do you have any idea what she's making this into, or she doesn't even know?
She doesn't know. Probably. Ooh. I think probably she's going to turn it into something that is, that they can bring with them to the meeting, like maybe like some sort of, like opera glasses. like some way to get like a better view of what's going on at this meeting or something like that, some
funny,
sort of
but it also
scope
sings.
or something. And of course she would have to like get other parts from some other places, like lenses and things, and but like it's kind of fucking around with that.
That's fun. Okay.
Yeah.
She takes the fish eyes from the singing bass.
Oh, she takes a lot of parts from the
Yeah.
singing bass. It looks like, it's a very haphazard steampunk telescope. Looney Tunes, like the thing is not a straight line; it goes in a bunch of different,
Okay.
So many lenses.
So I think we'll probably. How about we make that a surprise? We'll see whatever because you said it's for the meeting. We'll find out what River made when we get to the meeting. And you can decide how
So
to.
will River.
So before we go any further, I would like to take a quick break. We won't go for very terribly long after we come back. Probably just wrap up in about half hour, 45 minutes. But let's take a little 5 to 10. Go use the bathroom, drink some water. Take your meds if you haven't done that, kids. And then we'll see you all back here in just a little bit.
In the boneyard now.
Welcome back to the Boneyard, folks.
AKA my vagina.
Is Jana's vagina or Soda
Nah,
Pop's vagina?
it's soda,
or
it should be
both?
soda pop.
Okay.
Both now. We're just gonna blur the lines of reality. Both now.
Please get a message to your partner that it is now called the Boneyard.
I'll just poke him. He's behind me.
So that's the kind of show you just walked into. Welcome to
Dad, if you're watching, I'm so sorry. Just maybe
Oh
turn it
God,
off
your
now.
dad's watching.
Maybe. I don't know if he might have signed off already, but he is.
I mean,
If you're
I
still
wouldn't blame
watching,
him.
Dad, I love you, but you may want to leave. I was totally wrong to invite you to this.
If you're still watching, Jana's dad, I hold you responsible for this. I
That's
want you to
true.
know that. You bear some responsibility for this. Everything that you've seen this evening. Okay, so when we left off, we had finally completed all of our downtime activities because me being me, I chose the longest way possible to do it by making pretty much every single one a scene. But now they're done. And now that all downtime activities are completed, in the interim, I have done my side of downtime, which, as GM, as I get to tweak any active clocks, I get to mess with any factions that are in the background, which I've already done. So I've adjusted all the factions accordingly for who you've pissed off or impressed by what you did in Charter Hall. There's certainly a mixture of both. Some factions are cool with you, some really don't like you after what you did. So, and you can of course see the entire all these on the crew sheet about who is cool with you. I have done my downtime maneuvers. And the last thing that you can do is downtime as a GM is word on the street, which is let the PCs know what factions are doing through friends, contacts, or other vice purveyors. So I don't think there's a whole lot to report there because the meeting is coming up. So everybody is focused on that. And while the Midnight Runners made a last-minute splash, I think the different information that you're getting from your various contacts is that there are some factions who, and I think you know who, like, so that's why I gave you guys a map now so you can actually see what the factions are. You know who's cool with you and who isn't, or at least that's what you've been told. Your information could be wrong, but you know that there are some who considered your actions to be a little desperate, you know, clearly trying to get an invite at the 11th hour, and are unimpressed. And there are some factions that considered what you did to show some real gusto and some real moxie by pulling off something that big on enemy territory and getting away with it. So there is a mixture. The important thing is, though, the one that really matters is that you know that the unseen are impressed. You know this because you got an invite, but also word on the street is the unseen look at you, they look at the Midnight Runners as an up-and-coming crew that shows real potential. And you are hawking the finest psychedelic in town that nobody else seems to be able to manufacture to anywhere near the quality that you do. So they seem like a kind of crew that they'd like to, you're a kind of crew that they would like to get to know and possibly do some business with. Your friends, you already had friends over at the Hive who are the Merchants Guild turned gang. The Hive now have an even more favorable view of you. And the Hive are a very powerful gang. But they now see you as a real opportunity to make some serious coin. So I'm actually going to raise the Hive up one more. So the Hive are at 2 with you. They really like you. They see you guys as a potential for all of them to become very, very rich people. So that's the state of play going into the meeting. There are definitely some factions that would like to see you knock down a peg. The Gondoliers still hate you, but they tolerate you. There are the other gangs that are in Charter Hall, like the Grey Cloaks and the Red Sashes, really don't like you because you executed this thing on their territory without any even attempt at gaining permission to do so. So they are pissed. I'm actually going to mark both of them at a -2. They will actively try to fuck with you if they get the chance. So the Red Sashes and the Grey Cloaks are pissed. And that's the state of play. So when it's time to head out for the meeting, everybody is gathered in the barn. Cricket, I think we rejoin you as you awaken from your nap and hear Dexy calling. I think Dexy has like a bell that hangs in the green room. That's like a bell that has one of the little like ropes on the bottom that she can ring, that tells everybody get in here now. And Dexy has been ringing that frantically, and your eyes sort of flicker open. And as you come in to the room, kind of like hopping in, putting your shoes on, Dexy, you see that Dexy, all of you see that Dexy is very... She has put herself in perfect order. Like, there's not a hair out of place. She has even polished every last smudge off of her glasses. She has her overalls on because, they got to go into this meeting wearing your colors. But you notice that there are some holes that she's patched. She is wearing a really lovely, like, linen shirt underneath. She looks focused. She looks put together. She looks ready, but you can also detect she looks a little nervous as well. Okay, everyone. Gather round. Have a seat. Grab a RC Cola, whatever you need. Soda pop. Oh, very good. Rust. Rust, your button's undone there. Did you just get that? Thank you. Great. Thanks. Okay. So, does anyone have questions before I say... Yes, River. Do you have a question, River?
No.
Great, thanks. So, it's a big night for us. We've worked very hard to get here. There are plenty of gangs, and I've heard, word on the street is, there are plenty of gangs that didn't get an invite and are bitterly disappointed by that. Gangs that have been around longer than us.
They hate us
more
because
established. Yes, exactly. Thank you, River. They hate us because they ain't us, because they want to be where we are right now. I don't need to tell you all how big it is to get an invite from Darius himself. I don't know what this meeting is. I've only heard rumors about what Darius wants. But if the biggest gang leader in all of Doskfall, who runs the biggest gang and chooses most of the time to operate in the shadows, decides to come out for one night just to talk to everybody, it's gotta be something huge. But we have to be smart about this, okay? We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know. We can assume who will be there, but we don't know for sure. We're going under a cloak of general amnesty, general truce. No weapons are allowed. No weapons are allowed.
Fine.
We're going in like everybody else.
We're taking out knives.
5 guys, no weapons.
Hey.
She holds out her hand like, give me the pistol, Soda Pop.
She'll take it out and put it down. She has 2, by the way. So she gave her 1.
River pulls a piece of trash out of her pocket and gives it to Dixie.
Thank you, River.
Does it look like
Crumples
people
it.
still have anything in their pockets, or does it look like everyone kind of just like emptied, just empty pocketed? Let's go. Like if I just look around really briefly.
That's up to everybody. Yeah. Did you all comply?
Yeah, I mean, like, I was slow to take out the second pistol and put it down. Just be like...
River usually doesn't carry weapons at all, so... She's got her, like, ghost hook, but she wouldn't bring that with her.
I put my knives down in their little bed.
They have a bed.
I'm bringing patches, though.
You're bringing patches?
I'm not going with my hunting pet.
I think as I'm watching Soda Pop give up both pistols and Rust like very carefully like putting all of his like knives safely away, I kind of like I already had my hands in my pockets just because that's just like Cricket's just trying to act casual, like nothing's big deal, but she kind of like palms at the like rough piece of pottery, like the shard of pottery that she has in her thing that like it has the symbol. It has the symbol. But she kind of like is like running her thumb around like the edge of it and like realizing it's sharp and not making any moves to take it out.
So it's just the one? You're just taking one piece of pottery?
I mean, anything else would probably be not sneaky.
True. There's no rule against taking pottery. You could probably get away with it, but
Maybe
it's up to you.
maybe I'll have a second piece. I have a lot of pockets in my overalls.
Okay. Did you show Dexy these things that you made? Does she know they exist, or?
I mean, she walked in when
Yeah,
River
we
and
had
I
talked about.
were.
She was high.
She was high.
Does she
Walked in when
so
you were
here's
smashing the
thing.
pot.
Here's the thing: if I tell Dexy something when she's high and she doesn't remember that, is that my fault?
I suppose not. But I don't think she saw you. Like, you never told her what you were doing. You just said you were going to smash a pot. You didn't say you were making calling cards to drop around. At least that didn't happen in the scene.
In me making calling cards and turning it into something for the business is probably best case scenario. So if she didn't come and pursue me to be like, why are you smashing a pot? What are you gonna do with these pieces? Then I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think she literally said, like, I don't want to know, but, like, have fun and clean up your mess.
And she's
You know
also
what?
super high, and she's also preoccupied by thoughts of this meeting.
You know who wants to know? Soda Pop wants to know. I'm nosy. She's a nosy lady.
Do you want to
About why
come
they
over and
smashed
look
the
at our
pot.
art piece?
Yeah, I'll wander over to it. Actually, it's perfect because she'll wander over to it because there's a reason why. You're nearby her stash.
Oh.
So like, well, she goes over to like her stash, which is just like a little milk crate in the corner, where in there is like a couple of bottles of cola, but they're in the glass, like the heavy glass
Oh, the good shit.
bottles. She grabs two of them out, and then like looks over and goes like, "What did you guys make?"
River shows her one of the shards with a drawing on it, with the clock, the logo on it, and says, "See? It's a picture of Jonah inside the whale.
It looks like a
Calling
clock.
cards.
Governor's bones."
Ah, okay.
The governor's the pot. And the clock is us, midnight. It was River's idea, really.
Cute. I'm kind of questioning why it's jagged pieces of pottery. That seems a
Just
little.
go.
That's how we got our name. That's how people started hearing about us.
Remember the smash
Okay.
party?
No, I get that. I'm just thinking that giving a bunch of people who are high, sharp pieces of pottery might be a little unwise. So when we get back, you might want to sand those edges.
Okay,
No,
the
that's too much.
authenticity would be a little different if it's not like freshly cracked. But I mean, that's fair.
Just saying. You can just sand the edges down a little bit, guys. It's
Yeah,
cute. I'll give you that. It's cute.
It's the feeling. No.
Mm.
And that's
She'll
when you
poke
realize
one
that
and be
Dexy
like-
is, like, standing over you. Calling cards.
Yeah. We can give them out with when somebody buys something from us, and this was free, so no extra cost. And then they'll know that it came from the good guys, the ones that make the good stuff.
It's a good idea. Good job. Take a few with you.
Mm.
We're not allowed to bring weapons, but there's no rule against letting people know we were there.
Are we bringing
Cricket
product
gets,
with
that,
it?
like, devilish little smile, and it's like, yeah, we can make sure people have our calling card.
We bringing product with it, or just the cards?
That seems a bridge too far. I don't
Networking.
think at a time of general truce they would take kindly to us pushing product on their territory.
Cricket's
I like
about
where your
to make
head's
a
at.
really bad joke, and I need to prepare all of you guys. But she
Oh, boy.
is going to hold up a piece of pottery, touch the point, and she's like, "We just want to make a point." And she tucks
Okay,
it.
Cricket, you stay behind at the barn, and the rest of us will go.
Nobody gets
Because-
pottery then.
I'm
River
joking.
loves this joke. River's just like
Funny joke.
just losing her shit.
Leave the mom
she'll
jokes to
she'll
me.
kind of like look at everybody, like she'll do the thing, like she's like, I think I just made a funny joke and I want to see people's reactions. So she'll look at Soda Pop, she'll look at Dexy, see like the disappointment, and then she'll look at River being happy and just give like that appreciative little just like,
Soda actually thinks it was funny. She just
okay.
little
That's
smirk underneath her hand. She's like, oh, God. But thinks that's funny.
she'll kind of give like that like tentative like smile to Soda Pop of like, I think I did good, and then she'll just tuck it in her little pocket, and then she'll obviously just, it's out, so if anyone wants to take a piece, they can. Honestly, if all of us have one, it kind of makes sense for us to each have a calling card of sorts.
Soda will take
Not a bad
like
idea.
Soda will take like 2 of them and put them in her pocket. She's like, I'll drop them off somewhere on the way.
Synergy.
You have like 20 of them, so yeah. This is a good idea. Good thinking, Cricket.
Cross-platform brand building.
Yes, I suppose that is what it is. Yes, we need to grow our name, and there's nothing like the strength of a simple symbol. People come to associate a symbol with us, they will know who we are. Yeah, this is very good. I'll take a couple, please.
She'll like excitedly hand them out, and I think she'll accidentally like cut her like one of her fingers a little bit. She's like really,
Yeah,
she's
we're-
getting excited, so
we
she's
do
not
need
really
to stand
thinking through.
these.
She's just grabbing, and yeah.
Yeah, we're sanding these before sending them out as with product. They're getting sanded. For now, this is fine. We're sanding these things.
Well,
Very good.
good teamwork.
Yeah.
They're very cute, Cricket. You and River did a good job.
They're not cute. They're professional.
Fine, they're
Yeah.
professionally
Yes.
cute. Fine,
Russ,
they're
make sure you get
professionally
some of
cute.
these professional calling cards.
Oh, yeah, of course.
The sharp rust. They're sharp. You like cutting things.
Thing you'll probably be able to get to a knife into the party
Yeah, bud.
meeting.
I take one. I'm gonna put it right in my breast pocket.
River doesn't
Bud.
take any.
Hey, bud, do me a favor. Carry this one for me, and she'll hand you one of the bottles of Coca-Cola, or bottle of cola.
Okay.
Thank you.
I can't have those. It's too close to my bedtime.
We still have a meeting to get through. We might have to have a little bit of a later bedtime.
Get to stay up late.
Yes.
Let's go.
All right. I agree
Well,
with River.
No, yes, absolutely. We do need to. She looks at the clock. We do need to get going. I just wanted to tell all of you how proud I am of all of you. Because there's no way we would have made it this far if it wasn't for all of your combined efforts over the last several months. And when she holds up the calling card, and it's like it's little things like this, it's the thought and the care and the wanting this operation of ours to succeed that got us here. And I am just so damn proud to be all of your leader.
Well, you're a good one, Dexy.
And I love all of you. I don't feel like I say that ever, but I just wanted to tell you all that.
Well, is he going soft on us now, I suppose?
No. I'm still more than capable of slitting a few throats. I just never tell any of you that I care about you, and I think that's an oversight that I'd like to correct. So there it is. I've said it. I care about all of you, even you, Rust. You're all wonderful, and she kind of like dusts herself off. And with that, let's get going.
All right, come on, Patches, let's go. Thanks
I
for
think
cat.
if Dexy kind of starts trying to walk ahead of us, I will try to catch up and just be like, "We love you too, Dexy," and then I'll fall back again. Not to be unprofessional, but you know.
Soda, is there a way you could perhaps have Patches keep to the shadows a bit if you insist on taking him?
I was thinking of having him outside of the meeting. He doesn't have to go in with me. He's a cat snake.
Snat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's such a
Snat.
good. He's such a good snat.
Oh yes, he is. I love you, Patches.
Patches is a very good boy, but or indeterminate gender cat snake, but Patches also stands out quite a bit and might frighten people. He's not a normal thing, as you well know.
Dexy, give me some credit. He's gonna stick around in the alleyway nearby the meeting place. I'm not bringing him in the meeting with me, but I'd rather have him with me. We're still going through enemy territory to get all the way up to the meeting place. I have no weapons, but I feel a little better at least having Patches with me because he has an eye out on stuff.
Okay, no, that's fair.
To be fair,
And she looks at
Patches is kind of like a double threat because from behind it could look like a cat. So it could like just be looking in a corner somewhere and look like a cat and be totally unassuming. Or if it wanted to have its head just sticking out of a dark alley, make it look like a snake that could bite somebody and then people will circumvent.
Ooh, it's got heat vision. You do, my little dude. I'm precious, baby. Yeah. Oh, so precious. But yeah, no, he's gonna stay in the alleyway. She has him
And
up on
Patches. Yeah, and he's rubbing his hooded, scaly neck skin against your cheek.
Such a good play.
And speaking of enemy territory, the truce starts at 9, which means... And she watches the clock strike right now. For the next 3 hours, there is no enemy territory. As long as we come in peace and don't start any trouble, we should be safe between here and Brightstone.
Allegedly.
The only people that would cause any problems would be bluecoats. So we need to avoid...
Which reminds me, we gotta go through Silkshore to get up there, don't we? Yeah, we do. There's been inspector activity in Silkshore. So we gotta go quiet through there.
Not ideal right before the meeting. But we don't have any other way to get there. We'll have to go through the Silkshore.
What about our bathtub, Mom?
I'm sorry, what?
Our bathtub.
The boat.
Oh.
We can get up to the docks, bypass.
That's true.
Could do that. Could go over to Dunslow.
No, Dunslow is exclusive Bluecoat territory. That wouldn't be safe.
Oh,
We'll go up to the grinders. We'll go up to the docks, to the grinders. That way we bypass Silkshore.
We have to get past the dockers, but they shouldn't give us any trouble tonight. Okay, we take the gondola to the docks. Be polite to the dockers. Walk through grinder territory, and then get to Brightstone. That ought to work. Alright. Is there anything... Before we head out, anything else I should know, or anything else to say before this? I love you too, Rayford. Speak now or forever hold your peace.
I mean, I ain't saying it.
I'd expect nothing less, Soda.
No, man, I don't need to. I don't need to say it.
I know. Okay. Then let's go. And we see this montage as the runners leave the barn. We see them walking out single file from the front of the barn. Dexy at the head. Rust in the back, who locks up and sets all the traps on the way out. And puts a big, heavy... There's this big, heavy padlock that you guys only use when no one is at the barn. That is rigged so that if someone tries to lockpick it, it will explode. Which might burn the barn down, but in that case would actually sort of be good because it would destroy all the evidence. And you put this big, heavy iron key into that lock and seal up the barn tight. And as Dexy walks at the head of the group, our camera sort of zooms out, and we see Duskfall from the air as all over the city at the exact moment as they leave. There are other buildings where 5 people are walking out single file in the exact same arrangement. And it just looks like an ant colony from above. This teeming hive of crime where there are little rows of ants in a line all walking toward Brightstone. We see, as our camera soars over Crowsfoot, we see the Lampblacks, those fellas that we saw in the last episode, with their sort of black scarves on and flat caps. And they're walking out, and you see them walking out a front door holding billy clubs, but then their leader at the front is holding a box where they're all depositing their billy clubs in them since they're not allowed to take weapons. We see the bill hooks putting on their big black jackets, these big long knee-length sort of pea coats that they put on. All impeccable, not a single fluff or pill anywhere on the fabric. We see the dockers pulling up the boats onto the docks and hanging up their work clothes for the day, brushing themselves off and making their way toward Brightstone. And we see the Grinders, your allies, and their gang leader Marlowe, a close friend of Dexy's and of the gang, who is in the middle of, she has someone's head in a table vise and is in the middle of cranking it and like crushing someone's skull to the point that their eyes pop out. And then she is just about to pull, and then you sees the clock strike 9 and then just drops it and walks away and just leaves the guy there as the rest of her gang all gather out with her. All over Duskfall, it's the same scene. It's always 5 people leaving behind their compatriots. For some gangs, that's a drop in a bucket. 5 specially chosen people out of a gang of hundreds, where just these 5 delegates are headed off to the gang. Some gangs, like yours, that's all there is. And we see, soaring over Coleridge, the old mining part of town, where one dejected gang in torn and tattered sort of tunic shirts and ripped up dungarees are sitting watching other gangs stream toward Brightstone as they sit and drink and ponder ruefully how they weren't invited. And we see from across the Barrowclef Bridge as the puritanical man sits on his front porch drinking heavily and watching gang members going by, wondering what the hell's going on, but then turns and goes inside and locks his door. All over Duskfall, it's the same scene. And they're all headed for Brightstone, the pre-appointed place. At the back end of Brightstone by the water, there is a heavily wooded park where these gangs have been told it will be safe. It is not safe there for long. No place in Doskwall is safe for that many people to gather at one time for that long. But for just a little while, the unseen have manipulated things such that there should be no law enforcement presence in Brightstone for a little while. They've created enough of a distraction that the streets will belong to you all. Just for now. Long enough to do anything major? No. Long enough to break the power structures of Duskfall? No. But long enough at least to talk. To do something that the gangs of Duskfall never do. Sit down across from each other. Speak eye to eye. And come to a compromise. As the gangs stream toward Brightstone, our camera swirls, and we see our Midnight Runners pulling up on the docks. The dockers look at all of you suspiciously. The dockers are a big gang, much more than 5. Many of them have stayed behind. And you can see that they are carrying their weapons. They have billy clubs. They have brass knuckles. Some even have guns. But as you pull up your gondola, Dexy at the helm, you see a more senior docker kind of put a hand on his comrade as if to say, don't do anything, because the truce is on. And to break it tonight would mean invoking the wrath of the unseen. So we see all of you disembark from the gondola, walking past these dockers, Dexy with this polite smile. This sort of smirk of like, I know you want to kill us, but you can't. Your grinder friends walk with you as you walk through the docks and over the bridge into Brightstone. It is then that you finally see Marlowe, who is still wearing some blood from her most recent murder. Marlowe is wearing, let's see, what would Marlowe, the grinders, she wears those, a leather butcher's apron. Big, look like the dude from like Hostel. Like one of those big, long, knee-length leather butcher's aprons that repel blood and everything. And has a stained white smock underneath it. And as she always is, she's one of those people who walks extremely stiff and extremely upright. And has this unnatural gait to her. She doesn't sway at all as she walks straight, pin straight. And speaks in very short clip tones. And as she sees you all coming, she says, "Ah, the Midnight Runners are here. Excellent. Soda Pop, it is good to see you."
Good to see you too. You're looking beautiful as always. Fresh blood on you, as you should have.
There's like a little bit of like brain matter like on her apron. She just like flicks off. Thank you. That's very kind. Are you excited for the meeting?
I mean, yeah, I've never even been up this far up in the city.
I confess, neither have I. I stick to our territory. Brightstone is not for grinders.
I guess we'll find out what the unseen have to say to us. Maybe it is in the end.
And I feel like you guys haven't seen Marlowe in a while. You work together, you have an understanding, like she sends you bodies, but you don't actually meet in person very often. And she sees Cricket and says, "Oh, and who is this? I don't believe we've had the pleasure."
I'm Cricket. I just joined a few months ago.
She's Cricket.
I heard her, River. Please do not repeat her. Thank you.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you as well. And she holds out a hand, and you can just see like blood all like caked under her fingernails. But she holds out her hand like this, as if she's expecting you to kiss it.
Kind of look around at the group for a second, and then
Dexy's like,
Mm-hmm.
A pleasure.
She looks over at Dexy, as if to say, like, just with a look, as if to say, like, she passed my test. Charmed, I'm sure.
Charmed, I'm overwhelmed. And she'll kind of take a step back.
So. Oh, Rust. My, look at you. You're looking very healthy.
I just do what I can.
I'm curious, Rust, now that you, Turk, have met Marlowe, but also Rust has met Marlowe playing him before. What does Rust think of this person?
Weird. Uses all the knives and cutty bits in the wrong way, and where are the grinders?
They do murder.
Yeah, it's he's massed like a lot of respect for making a whole profession out of killing folk, but like, I think there's a distinction between getting rid of your food too early, kind of same way you don't clear stuff off your plate, you don't kill folks, you can fight them again.
Rust, what will you be doing without knives?
Oh, I'm gonna have to improvise.
Well, I hope you don't plan on improvising any weapons. The unseen will cut your hands off.
That'd be new. What are you gonna do without yours?
Well, I don't anticipate having to kill anyone. That would strictly be against the truce policy of the evening. But, if pressed, I'm more than capable of using my bare hands.
Oh, you got a pair of those in the back there, do ya?
My bare hands? Yes.
Well, he's gonna show them, or?
Oh! That was humorous, Russ.
Yeah.
Thank you. I needed a good laugh.
Yeah, regular cut up.
I apologize. You were saying?
I was just saying, just regular cut up.
Don't repeat yourself, Rust.
A cut up. Because I cut people with knives. That's also funny.
Figured you'd like that one.
Between you and me, she puts her hand out like she just did to Cricket.
Just between
I
us
also
girls.
have very sharp fingernails.
Well, between me, you, and the girls, I don't. But they're pretty tough.
Rust, someday you must join the Grinders. I would love to have your humor in my presence at all times.
Well's the issue there, being not sure how long I'd last at your presence. And
I couldn't imagine what you mean.
Well, let's just say for the moment I'm quite attached.
I can respect that. If anyone else turned me down, I would have them killed, or do it myself.
Oh.
But you're an ally. We're
Best.
Yes, indeed.
Man, Russ gets so much action. I really need to work on my. I need to work on my. on my technique.
She
work
says,
on my game.
best. And then, like, BioWare turns, like...
River, like sidles over to Rust and goes really close and he says, "What did her fingernails sound like?"
Nothing good. You don't worry about those fingernails. You start seeing
I
those,
think-
you start finding me.
She looks at Rust like really seriously and says, "I think that lady's crazy."
Well, it's not polite. But
That's not wrong.
This is a fun meeting.
As you say that, you guys are in Brightstone, and you're starting to see, like, as you get toward the meeting place, you can tell the other gang members are here. Like, you see people that maybe they're gangs that you don't recognize that are from complete opposite ends of the city that you've never encountered before. But you can tell there's like 5 people wearing matching clothes that are all heading toward the same place. Kind of obvious. And when you get, for the rest of the walk, Marlo talks with Dexy. And Dexy clearly looks uncomfortable, but knows how to kind of keep Marlo at bay. And more importantly, Dexy knows to talk to Marlo to keep her from talking to all of you and spare you, so she's taking one for the team. And as Dexy talks with this blatant psychopath, you arrive at this park, and there's this big, it's a very heavily wooded, lots of trees. It's an old part of the city, one of the oldest parts of the city in Brightstone. That was originally this area was originally a castle, a sort of walled fortress, where within the castle walls they kept this one area that's sort of like a God's Wood in like Game of Thrones, but they kept this area that was a couple acres of untouched forest. They leveled everything around it, but this one area is like old growth forest that's been there for hundreds of years. Now the original castle that stood around it's long gone. There's some evidence of it. There's some bits and stones and walls here and there, but nothing really. But this piece of the forest has remained. And it's old growth, it's thick and heavily wooded, but there is a clearing in the middle. Not a big clearing, but a clearing. And as you all walk into the woods, there's these big, tall, wide, mossy trees that are this dull green color. Not very bright and vibrant because this is Duskfall, but this somewhat unpleasant, actually, kind of mossy green color. And you can just see from in all directions as you walk in, people coming from behind trees. And then you're realizing, as you get closer to the center, to the clearing, you're all realizing just how many people are here. And it's hard to get a sense because there's so many trees between you and them. But there's 5 people from each gang. You don't know how many gangs there are in Duskfall, but you would estimate there's at least a few hundred people in this small little clearing. And they're all staying together with their respective cliques. But there's just, it's a lot. And as you kind of do the rough math, you realize just how many people this little meeting is representing. And at the center, as you get into the very center of the wooden area, in the clearing, there is a platform that's been built, sort of hastily, as if built quickly to be put up quickly, used, and then quickly put down and disposed of. It's just a simple triangular wooden platform with a ladder on the side. It's not terribly tall, but it's tall enough that if one were standing on it, they could easily be seen by everybody around, provided there wasn't a tree in front of you. And as you all look around, you recognize some of the gangs. You recognize some of the colors. You see, okay, I've heard of the Lamp Blacks. I think, Soda, you know the Lamp Blacks. You framed them for murder yesterday.
I did.
You see, okay, those are Lamp Blacks. Those are Billhooks. Oh, those are our friends, the Grinders, right over there. Oh, we know, the Dockers. and you see opposite side from you, the complete 180 degrees opposite side of the platform. You see the gondoliers, who are mean mugging you, but not saying anything. But Rust, you do see that among them is her.
Mm-hmm.
She's one of the retinue. And she's looking at Soda?
I wink and give her blow her a kiss.
I catch the kiss midair and step in front of Soda.
Oh, wow. She looks at you, Rust, and then looks down and squints, and then looks up again. She's seen your penis before, but can't discern if this is the same person from this distance, from the distance before. But she looks... That's the most attention she's, ever given you.
Mm-hmm.
She is, definitely trying to figure out if you're the guy that she saw the other day.
Soda's gonna lean out and be, pointing at him, be like, this guy.
So you want to do fondue later or something? I shouted out towards her.
Oh.
Asked if she wants to do fondues later or something.
You said fondue?
Fondue, absolutely.
Wow, way to one's heart.
Everyone loves dipping things in cheese.
She leans over to one of her comrades and says something. Asks something. You see her, looks like she's asked something and then shakes her head And then looks back to you and says,
Oh, hell yeah, boys. We in there.
Who are you talking to?
Sorry.
Who are boys?
Hells yeah, girls. I got one.
You're going for a ride on that funicular.
What's Dexy cut? What's happening? What are you doing?
I made
Love match.
Made it happen.
The large woman.
I'm just gonna fight her.
And Bucker?
Well, we're gonna see what happens from there. Damn it. It's gonna happen.
Wow, this is a very big day for you, Rust.
I mean, I'm proud. Are you not proud?
Yes. Yes, I'm proud of you.
I'm proud of you, buds. Gives you a punch, which is not very strong.
Rust, are you gonna get your dick
Fucking
wet?
up my...
Oh, don't worry there, bud. I'm probably gonna knock the stripes right off her uniform.
Yeah, probably. She's gonna take it from a tiger to a mountain lion.
He starts actually thinking on that,
I got it.
Well, I still want to take her out of being a tiger.
A tiger's always a tiger, whether it has the stripes or not.
Yeah.
Gotta earn your stripes.
Yeah, me and Cricket took the governor down an alleyway.
You could take a tiger.
Okay, clearly in this group I need to really fucking up my game. Okay, because everyone's got something going. Supposedly.
You love your gun. And you've got patches.
That's not what I mean. At all.
Patches isn't here, but somewhere he just hit.
He's in a tree. I put him
Somewhere.
in a tree.
Well,
You guys all have a couple laughs over each other's relationship status. You see,
And nothing can go wrong from here.
Nothing can go wrong. You see, someone stands up near the platform, at the side of the platform, and indicates and announces, leaders to the front. And Dexy is like, me? And looks over at Marlo, and Marlo's like, yes, they want the leaders at the front to talk with us.
I love Marlo.
Dexy says, strange, but you see the person who said it, who said leaders to the front. I mentioned before how there's this sort of there's this sign language in Doskvol that is used by a lot of people for easy transactions, but also is used as a special variant of it, I should say, is used by scoundrels, by the underground of Doskvol. And this person makes a sign that is well known to all of you among anyone who's in the criminal underground of Doskvol. There's no direct translation of this into English, but it essentially means something of to the effect of, on my honor as a criminal, or as a scoundrel, or as a member of the underworld. It's for someone who operates in the world of the shadows and crime in Doskvol. It's the most solemn promise that you can make. It means I am guaranteeing on my honor and on my word that no harm will come to you. So when people see that sign, you know, because even criminals keep their promises when they make deals and whatnot. And when the gang leaders see that sign, that kind of some of the tension sort of dissipates, and the gang leaders start moving to the front with the trust and understanding that no harm will come to them. And Dexy looks to all of you and says, I guess I have to go.
Got this, boss.
Very exciting. Soda, you're in charge till I get back?
Yep. Got it.
Alright, I'll see you all soon.
We'll get him, Big Chief.
If things get rough,
If things get rough, what?
remember the calling card.
Oh. And she pulls the calling card out of overalls and says, "Oh, yes. I won't forget it.
Hands pointing up.
Thank you, honey." Cricket.
That's
And she walks away with the calling card in her hand and kind of holding it, not like squeezing it because it probably would cut her, but she's holding it just sort of. You can see in her whole body language that she's nervous. She's nervous about this entire thing. And she's holding it and she's kind of like rubbing it with her thumb like a worry stone and running her thumb over the grooves of the design that's painted on there of the clock. And as she gets to the front, you can see this member of the Unseen. And by the way, these members of the Unseen, they're like impossible to describe because they're not wearing anything notable. They doesn't appear to be like a uniform. They just look like people. They're just wearing normal clothes. But it's in the way they carry themselves and the way they speak and the way they immediately command authority that you all know, like, that's an Unseen. But there's nothing special about their appearance or anything about them. They don't look particularly strong. They don't look... They're not big, muscle-bound people or anything. They're just people. But they just carry themselves with this exceptional air and grace that just commands authority. And the gang leaders are all gathered around this Unseen. This otherwise unnotable person. And they're all deep in conversation. And they all look, you can see Marlo, you can see Dexy. They all look excited by whatever this conversation is. They're nodding excitedly and in agreement. And they look thrilled, even. No one seems to be like, fuck this. Everybody seems to be into whatever's going on here. And then, from through the trees, you see all this big teeming mass of bodies all around the platform. You just see the massive bodies just start to part like the Red Sea as a man comes walking down through the trees, through the wood, and as he comes by, gang members from 100 different gangs recognized to you and completely unknown to you, instinctively move out of the way to make room for him. He has no retinue, he has no posse. There's just his presence. And as he walks through the crowd, they part like water around a stone in a river. He does not walk so much as he glides. Unlike the rest of his unseen contemporaries, he is dressed differently. He seems to have dressed up to the occasion. He's wearing a long, flowing robe of this rich brown trimmed in black. His hair is combed back. He has this sort of shoulder-length black hair that's straight back. And he carries himself with this exceptionally regal air, without looking like he's trying to do it at all. It just comes naturally. And as everyone makes way for him, the place gets quieter. It gets hushed. The conversation ceases. Until there is, as he climbs the ladder up onto the platform, there is not a word being said in the entire place, even though no one told everyone to be quiet. And as you all look upon him, you recognize what he is. You have all been fighting for months to gain a modicum of power in Duskfall. A modicum of influence, control, of strength in a city where so many are vying for the same things. But as you look upon this man, who you know without a doubt, without everyone having to tell you, that man is Darius, the head of the Unseen, you know what power looks like. It ceases to be an abstract idea. It is now a person. And it is him. It is this man who manages to control everything in his presence by pure gravitas. Someone from below the platform hands up to him a bullhorn. And as he holds it, you all find yourself thinking how strange it is, because it seems as if he should have the power to simply project his voice for miles. But he is, at the end of the day, despite what your brain protests, he is just a human. He is just a man, despite being one imbued with such exceptional characteristics and strength. He is a person. And as he raises the bullhorn to his lips, there is still not a single peep being spoken as the rest of the gang leaders turn and look toward him. Their unseen interlocutor, who was keeping their conversation, turns and looks straight up at his boss. The rest of the gangs look to this man. He raises the microphone, the bullhorn, to his lips, and says in a voice that is not a yell nor a whisper, but just the perfect volume to be heard by all around. He speaks. Can you count, suckers? I tell you now, the future belongs to the underground of Duskfall. If you can count. And that's when the platform explodes. And that's where we'll end our session, so...
Ah!
cliffhanger.
I don't think he's hanging off a cliff anytime soon.
Yeah, that's so close to hang off of.
Dexy was up there.
But yeah.
I've been debating for weeks, like, am I going to do the whole speech? It's like, no, I'll just blow it up in the middle. Had to get the line in because I use it as the title for the episode.
You got it.
Yeah. It is a massive explosion that reaches above the tops of the trees. And there is a blinding flash. All sound ceases for just a moment. As there is a blinding flash, complete quiet, and then this massive explosion. And the last thing you all hear is screaming as everybody scrambles. And in the chaos and the confusion, you realize two things. One, the gangs are fighting each other, each blaming each other for what just happened. And the brawling's already begun. And two, you don't see Dexy. And you have no idea where she is. So that's where we'll pick up next week. Thank you, Jim, for the clearly someone could not dig it line. I appreciate that a lot.
Title of next week's episode, apparently not.
Apparently not.
Can you dig it? Well, never mind.
No, they could not dig it. Okay, well that was fun. I don't know why I bother making plans. They don't happen the way I want them to, but
Fine.
no, I just like letting it flow, man. Okay, cool. Let's go do reverse from what I did last time. So I think I ended with Jana last time. So what's up, Jana? Let's see. My soda pop moment of the night was definitely your entire conversation with with the big
Chops?
lady.
Oh no.
Oh, Officer Mutton Chops
Officer-
too. I had way more fun playing Officer Mutton Chops when I didn't have to just grunt like I did with the large lady. Officer Mutton Chops is a very fun character to play, and I hope I get to play him again.
Man, there's complications. So
You blackmailing people is pretty fun. So
I got
That
no
was
social
pretty great.
skills. So and like I said, I'm from Minnesota originally. So
you know how to threaten people, and you have money to back it up.
exactly, or did. I have no money now.
That's true. Yeah, that was delightful. So what's up with you?
Yeah. So nothing really much. You can find me here Thursday. That's how it works.
For the finale next week.
Yeah, for the finale, and then into Delta Green. But yeah, other than that, I'm on my socials for Twitter and Blue Sky. I'm Cyberella Draws, and my Tumblr is a child because I was not consistent. Consistency is for winners, and I'm a loser. But you can find my work on there.
Wrong. All right. Thank you, Jana. You're wonderful. Justin, what's up? River moment of the evening. Oh boy.
Who knows?
Something about naming the potted plant the governor just really got me. I don't know where the fuck that came from in your brain.
I don't know where it came from either. All my favorite river lines aren't the ones that are like Radiohead lyrics or lines from the Warriors. It's just the stuff that I just say and it comes out, and that was one of those.
I have no idea, but I loved it. I like the governor's bones being your calling card is pretty great.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, she had a lot of weirdness tonight, but I mean, back at you because Marlo changed my life, and I'm worried that she's dead now. And like I don't know why it broke me so hard, but just like this person who's obviously like a mix between Dexter and Janet from The Good Place, and like was just like just the clip and the Skyrim turn at the end, and like everything really rocked my world. And also anytime I get to hear Turk do Rust's accent, just tickles me to no end. Hilarious stuff. And of course, you know,
I didn't get anything tonight.
alleyways.
That was another. Marlo was another character that I had utterly no idea how Marlo was going to sound until she
So
started
good.
talking.
And I loved it. Anyway, that's me. I'm Doc. We'll be here next week. On Tuesdays right now, I'm over on Modifius's Twitch channel playing Star Trek Adventures. That is at twitch.tv/Modifius, or if you're our friend Tom Modifius. We are in the end arc of their Shackleton Expanse campaign, and I'm an alien, so I don't have to know any Star Trek shit. It's a lot of fun, and it's pretty heated. Next week, I'm going to be fighting my demigod, so unexpectedly, and so there's going to be some issues there. And then, of course, back here next week and in 2 weeks is the premiere of Impossible Landscapes Season 3, and it'll be all these lovely folks you see here, plus a Sam, and we'll start with those 5 and see where the season goes from there, and just pick up where we left off last season. That's going to be super fun. That's about it from me.
Yeah, I came up with a new Delta Green character today. I'm so excited.
Yes, you did.
He's a nightmare. He's going to be wonderful.
Colin and I have been just like vomiting Delta Green character ideas at each other all day long. It's great.
It's been delightful. That was what I did instead of working today. It was
good.
Fantastic. Thanks for that. My billable hours hate you. So yes, finally, not finally. There's one more after you, but Lonnie. Let's see. So Cricket. I gotta level with you, Lonnie. I don't know what I'm doing with the Puritanical Man at all. I don't know why I keep doing this. I don't know why I'm going back to this well. But every time, I think I know. I think I have a hint, which is that every time I bring that guy out, your reactions are so fucking funny because you hate this dude so much that I just can't. I wouldn't forgive myself if I didn't do it again the next opportunity I got. He can't appear more than once per session. That's just too much. That's too much Puritanical Man. But he sure has consistently appeared once per session. And as soon as you were like going to steal pots, I'm like, two things popped in my brain. I'm like, there's going to be drugs in the pots, and they're going to belong to the Puritanical Man, because that's exactly the kind of bullshit he would do. And that whole thing made me so happy. You stealing from that guy, delightful.
Damn me for having such a reactionary face so you can tell what I'm thinking about the Puritanical Man at all times.
Children, damn you!
No, honestly, I love, like, it's so funny because it's one of those, like, love to hate him type things where it's just so funny that this is, like, my arch nemesis is just this man that's, like, that's just, he's the one in the bar, but is telling me to get out of the bar. He's the one growing weed in his back garden, but he's yelling at me to not steal his weed. It's kind of like the same level of humor of, like, the cabbages guy from Avatar. Like, it happens, like, once an episode, and you're like, if you're not really in on it, you're kind of like, I don't really, whatever. But then, like, as soon as you're like, oh my god, it's the Puritanical Man again.
Again. God bless him. It's like Justin said, I think it was last episode or one before, it's like, he doesn't want to see any children in the brothel that he frequents. Like, well, I guess you don't want to see children in a brothel anyway. That doesn't make him weird, but he doesn't want to see anyone indulging in any of the many vices that he indulges in.
He indulges in himself. He had to make sure he put his pants on to open the door.
He's very polite. He has excellent manners.
He's very polite, except for the fact that literally the instant the door closes, he goes and takes his pants off again. Which
No
is
one's
not
watching what he does
necessary.
in his own home. is
No
none of your
man,
business.
no man should have to wear pants in his own home.
Yeah, come on. I'm not wearing pants right now, for all you know.
I'm not wearing pants.
Jim Cat says puritanical man yells at cloud. Very good.
Fantastic. All right, what you got going on, Lonnie?
Well, so I actually do have some things going on in February. I am spending my Valentine's Day playing Honey Heist with a very chaotic crew. We're going to be playing a bunch of different bears that are trying to break into a bridal expo, I believe is the storyline so far. It's going to be chaotic. It's going to be amazing. We have already been asked to dress up as bears, and I don't know what I'm going to do for that. So I might just wear a silly hat and call it a day, but there's literally nothing that could not be funny about this thing. So if you don't have any Valentine's Day plans on the actual physical day, because sometimes people
Those
go
are my
to the
Valentine's Day
weekend.
plans, are to see you dressed like a bear.
I'll figure
Fair.
something out. Maybe I'll do my buns, but a little bit higher up, so they look like little ears or something.
Oh, that'd be
I'll do
cute
your
with your
buns.
ears.
Just change where my and then back here on Thursday, gonna figure out what happened to Dexy and hopefully not cry because she literally was just like, "Oh, thank you, honey. I mean, cricket," and then went to go potentially get blown up 2 seconds later. So that's an emotional roller coaster.
I did that on purpose.
I know, and I'm mad about you. You let there be a little too long of a pause with like all of us being like, if there's anything else anyone wants to say. I'm just like, is someone gonna die and we're not gonna see them again? So we need to say our goodbyes and have our little heartfelt things that make it even more tearful when they die. But then also on the 20th, I am in Paranormal Inc., which I thought was going to be pretty similar to Scooby-Doo, but I'm actually going to be playing a skeptic in the. I
fun.
somehow during the session 0 got nominated as being the leader, even though I'm the skeptic of the Mystery Incorporated not ripoff. So that's gonna be so fun because I usually play a happy character, so me sitting there and just telling everyone, no, you're wrong. No, it doesn't really make any sense. Are you sure? Is that what you experienced? I don't know. That doesn't sound right to me. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be really interesting. So I'm in a lot of cool games. Also just every Thursday I'm here with this amazing crew and I'm really happy about that. So yeah, that's about it.
Was there a skeptic in Scooby-Doo?
I mean,
I guess,
like,
was Velma the skeptic?
Kind
Velma
of.
was like the scientist that like, I don't know if she was like a skeptic per se.
I guess in Scooby-Doo, if you're the skeptic, you're just right, because it's never
Look,
actually a ghost.
It's like so Fred in the Curse of the one where they're in the bayou. That movie where in the bayou and there's actual
he's really
zombies,
cool in that one.
and he's just
I
like,
have
oh,
such vivid memories of seeing that.
yeah, and they're all coming back together, and he's like, oh, it's just someone in a mask. And he rips off a person's
It's an
head.
actual ghost. It's like the only time there's an actual ghost, right? It's because Shaggy inherits the mansion from his uncle Beauregard. That's what I remember.
It's wild.
Anyways,
It's a wild story.
Is that the Zombie Island? Anyway. All right, so Tarek, hey, what's up?
Hi.
You, my dear friend, completed all your downtime activities last session. So I felt horrible because we did not get to spend nearly as much time with you tonight because you were already done with your downtime.
It's
which made
fine.
me
I didn't
sad.
have an accent tonight, so it's fine. I don't know where it went. I have to check and clean my apartment. It's probably somewhere in the quote covers.
You left it up there somewhere in Manitoba.
I can't even get up there. Jeez, I mean, I really think about it, maybe I can do it, but, you know, it just really wasn't coming out, and I need it to, you know. You gotta get out there, you really gotta make the change, gotta be the person you want to see in the world, and unfortunately the person I saw tonight wasn't a Canadian. It was almost like... not even Nova Scotian. I just shot way over into, you know, Northern Ireland or something.
I think you were the Atlantic.
That's fucking embarrassing, boys.
Somewhere in the Atlantic. I
You
mean,
gotta get some of those stereotypical Letterkenny phrases out.
You know, the problem is I had Letterkenny on my friend's Hulu, and then they moved, and now I think I have to get the login again. So I've been without Letterkenny for a while.
Letterkenny, jeez.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yes, you were delightful as always. I ship it really hard. I know you might think I'm about to say ship it really hard with you and the Gondolier lady, but no, I ship it hard with you and Marlo. I think it's gonna work out. It's gonna put your head in a vice. It's gonna be so hot.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the fastest way to Rust's heart, to be fair, is physical violence.
Physical violence. I just think there's something there. I think there's a spark, and I think you should investigate it.
Well, we'll see what's left of her.
Why? Yeah.
Or I'll slit your throat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she might be dead. We'll see. All right.
Oh,
So, what you got going on?
yeah.
Extensive calendar.
I'll do my very parsed down version because it's gonna get a little wild in the next few months. I bounce between Neon Knights Roleplay and here. So I have a bunch of games that I'm a part of. Of course, actually, the next stream I'm going to be in, unless something drastically shifts within the next few days, is going to be our next episode of this. So that'll be nice. But then after that, I do run Oathsworn over on Odyssey, an Odyssey of the Dragon Ghost campaign over on Neon Knights Roleplay. That's actually published by Modifius. I was like, why does that name ring such a bell? Like, I've been staring at it every single time I've opened a book. And I mean, beyond being a prolific publisher, I mean, so. Anyway, it's really cool. Greek mythology, high fantasy. I say it a bunch of times, but for real, like, I find myself saying after every episode, like, that was my favorite episode. So it's really fun. I've got some Bioshadow Peace, which is a Wrath and Glory game. I've got some Lancer that I'll be running coming up in March and then going into April, which should be really good. And then over here, I've got a lot of mechs and murder and mysterious Cthulhu horribleness coming up. And March's Caravan of Cthulhu should be really fun. So check it out on the 11th.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm excited. But yeah, that's all for me.
What, Saturday?
It's a Monday. March 11th is a Monday.
Oh, March 11th.
Yeah, March 11th. Yeah, no, on the 11th will be the next one because it's a special March episode.
Ew.
Mhm.
Right on. Thank you, Turk. You delightful lad. 'Twas good as always. Thank you for joining us for this very strange journey into Duskfall with this delightful crew. They were wonderful as ever. We're going to be doing a raid if you stick around, although I just saw Doc say that the people we're going to raid look like they're finishing.
Gotta go faster. Hit them with the raid and we'll bounce off to them.
Find someone in California.
So...
Oh no, they just raided us!
Ah, damn it.
Fantastic.
Oh, hi!
Oh, it's the Ouroboros raid.
Oh, we were
Wait,
just
they
about
raided
to...
us?
Yeah, we were just about to raid Evandale, and Evandale just
We
hit
were
us with
just
the
about to
raid.
raid you guys.
Evandale, we were
Because
right
we're
about to
done.
raise you. We're raising.
Oh no!
Well, I guess we just gotta play
Wow.
the next episode of Blades in the Dark, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
All strapped in. Here we go. Fuck. Raid somebody, Turk.
Okay,
Free us from this hell.
okay, wait,
Tell us who.
I think it's Live from the Apocalypse still...
Sure. Yes.
Is it? I don't know if it is.
I don't know.
I don't know
All
things.
bets are off.
I'm not on my usual thing. I'm logged in as administrator. I've got to like...
Recommendation in chat. I
At the
don't know
Interpoint
if anyone
Station.
follows them.
Tabletop titties. I love tabletop titties.
Yeah. There we go. They're great people.
Tabletop titties.
Tabletop titties. We're going.
Okay.
All right.
We're raiding. Bye, everybody. I'm Colin. I was
Bye.
the game master, and now I'm going to
Bye.
bed. Good night.